All right, Bill, I need some advice, Bill. Going for it. Going for it. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Going for it. This is some guy from the 80s. He's going to go for it. That was one of the worst fucking expressions ever in the 80s. Do you remember that? And it bottomed out in that Rocky movie, in Rocky 3. Or maybe that started it all. When Clubber Lang got in his face and was like, I'm going to bust you up. And then Rocky's like, go for it. And that was supposed to be like this big moment. Like, he's not scared anymore. Go for it. Did everybody in that part of the 80s, everybody in the early to mid 80s, more like the early 80s, in all those fucking movies, everybody dressed like they were on their way to an aerobics class. In fact, I think Sylvester Stallone, didn't he have on leg warmers during part of his workouts in those movies? I can't remember. Dear Bill, since I was 12 years old, I've been playing blues music professionally around the Colorado and Front Range area. What the fuck is the Front Range area? Is that Wyoming? Bumba-data, bumba-data. I've made good money. What kind of gigs did you get in the Front Range area? Every year I play blues music on Hitler's birthday for this Aryan group / meth lab in fucking Casper, Wyoming. I've made good money and lots of friends on the way. This year I even made it to the finals at the International Blues Challenge. Needless to say, I've been blessed so far in life. Yeah, and you must be a fucking beast if you can do that. He says, not bad for a 16-year-old. Go fuck yourself. You know, that's awesome for a 16-year-old. Jesus Christ. I wasn't doing shit. The only I was doing was flunking every class in high school. And I had my driver's license. I got my driver's license the second I turned 16. The second I was eligible. And I took it on I actually took I had the balls to take it with a stick shift. It was a 78 Chevette 4-speed. And the only reason why I say I had the balls, every car in my family, we always had stick shifts. I don't know why. You know, it was funny. We had manual transmission, but there wasn't a sports car to be found. Anyways, here's my problem. Ever since I was 8 years old and saw Reservoir Dogs, I wanted to write and direct movies. Now, this isn't a choice between my two passions. I do plan on doing both for the rest of my life, but with the screenplay competition, I have little hope for. Why do you have little hope in a screenplay competition? They have shit like that, don't they? Or are you saying you're not good at it? I don't know, Bill. Why don't you read the rest of it and you'll figure it out? A screenplay competition I have little hope for. Oh, I see. No, those do exist, dude. I don't know where they are, but they do exist. I remember Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had that Project Greenlight. There's always people doing stuff like that. I can't say always, but there is shit like that. Anyways, a dad that's recovering from a car accident. Sorry to hear that. And a mom working to keep our family in a home. I have no idea how to start making my first feature film. Now you're probably thinking, you're 16. No, I'm not. I'm thinking you're ahead of the game. This is good. But I have no money for the high school I go to anymore. And being in the blues world for so long, I know that tomorrow I will wake up and be 43, wondering if I accomplished everything I wanted to. Being a 16-year-old blues musician who's most likely isn't going to get a high school diploma and wants to make movies. Jesus Christ, dude. First thing I'll tell you is you gotta put a little sunshine in your thoughts there, youngster. Stop listening to that fucking blues music. It's making you just depressed. Why don't you listen to a little hair metal? It's happy. Anyways, I'm pretty lost. It's scary because I'm at that place where the things you do now affect your future. Any advice on how to keep positive as I try and become a filmmaker would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, and sorry for writing so fucking much. Yeah, dude, first of all, you're acting like you're 86 and not 16, all right? You're 16. You're way ahead of the fucking game. All right? When I was 14, I was going to go to Notre Dame and become a lawyer. By the time I was 16, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll learn a trade. All right? That's how quickly I fucking, went off the rails. Now there's a bunch of people in trades. So what, I'm a moron if I can't make a lamp? No, you're a fucking genius because you can make a lamp. Or however the fuck that went. This is how you learn to make movies, dude. You just go ahead and you fucking make one. All right? This is the deal. You don't have any fucking money, all right? So you can make enough money like just playing music with a goddamn bucket in front of you in downtown Denver. Save up and get an iPhone if you don't already have one. All right? You got an iPhone, you can fucking shoot some video. Then upload it on and just, do it for nothing. Upload it on a computer or a friend's computer, or whoever you're making the movie with. That's the way to learn how to do shit. That's the advice I'll give you. You just go out and you do shit. And then every time you think a negative thought that's saying, I can't do this, you have to fucking mentally beat the shit out of that thought. And you have to really become conscious as to what your brain is telling you. Because you seem like you're very early on, so I don't think it's going to be that deep of a groove. But your brain is like catastrophizing. Okay? Everything you're thinking of doing, somehow it ends with you slamming into a brick wall. All right? And if you think that way, you become paralyzed and you can't step forward. But your heart wants to step forward, but you can't because your brain keeps fucking showing you that brick wall. So what's then going to happen is your fucking heart is going to be waking you up in the middle of the night, thinking thoughts like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" And then you're going to start drinking, and it's going to be or whatever the fuck, something bad. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Then you can become miserable, and then you can see somebody young one day who isn't in their way, and you're actually going to try to discourage them, which is going to make you feel like a piece of shit. So, the biggest thing I would work on is you just have to really. You have to be conscious of when your brain's telling you can't do something. You're 16 fucking years old, okay? You got your whole world, the whole fucking life in front of you, and you can start making a movie tomorrow. And this is the great thing, dude. Just give yourself the permission to suck. It's your first one. It's supposed to suck, all right? I had no idea how to do stand-up. I just signed up for an open mic, and I went on fucking stage, and I hung on for dear life. And you know what? I sucked. And I sucked for a while, but every time I sucked a little bit less, and that's how you got to do it. And I had all that negative shit going on in my head, and I bought those fucking books on how to think positive, which was hilarious with my negative mind. It's just as I'm reading it, wanting to absorb it, I'm also ripping it apart, saying this is bullshit. But I don't know. Unless you're like clinically depressed, just negative thought is just a habit you can get out of. And that's kind of what I found. And you just have to be conscious of it. And, it's really just a choice. You just think a negative thought. And you're like, all right, there's a negative thought. Step back, look at it, and be like, oh, do I want to fucking, tie myself to that thing and have it pull me all the way down to the ground? Or am I going to say, you know what, fuck that thought and think something positive? No, I'm going to make a movie. What I would do if I was you is I would just be thinking about guys like Tarantino or Spike Lee or Kevin Smith, any of these guys who just were like, fuck it, I'm going to make a movie. And they just went out and did it. And next thing you know that they had a career. If those guys can do it, you can do it. That's just focus on them. That's what I do. Fuck it. I'm a balding redhead in this fucking business who has the nerve to try to go and audition for movies every week. Where the fuck do I get off doing that? Who wants to see that on screen? But what do I think of? People still want to see Ed Harris. They don't care. So fuck it. I'm going to look at Ed Harris. I'm not going to fucking be focusing on all these washboard middle, full head of fucking hair, run for president looking fucking jaws. Like, I'd kill myself. Jesus Christ, now I'm starting to depress me. That's what I would do. You want to make a movie, you go fucking make a movie. That's what I would do. I don't know why you feel like you're not going to finish high school. You could do that. You can do it. There's got to be a way that you can get a high school diploma. What if you have to transfer? You got to fucking transfer to a new school that's cheaper. So what? You come in, all of a sudden you're the new guy. Hey, who the fuck is this guy, right? You come in like fucking Clint Eastwood. All of a sudden you're getting blown by some chick because she thinks you're mysterious because you have a different area code. It can happen. Just, I was going to say buy a trench coat, but that's probably not good to do in Colorado, is it? Oh, that was a bad one. Sorry. You know what I mean? Just, you got to think positive, all right? If you keep thinking negative, that shit's going to happen. If you think positive and you do the work, that's the critical part, you'll be fine. And thus ends my little self-help after-school special here, all right? All right, don't write to me. Don't keep thinking that shit. I want to hear from you in 6 months going, hey, I actually made the movie. It didn't come out that bad. You're going to learn a bunch of shit, Believe me. And that's the kind of thing also that never ends. I'm still learning shit. Every time I go and tape a special, there's always something, fuck. The first time when I did Why Do I Do This, it was the first time I was ever the guy calling the shots, and I forgot to tell them that I needed a clock. I just assumed that it was going to be there. And I went out, and there was no clock. There was no way to tell how long. I didn't know what time I went out. And ended up being a little bit of a clusterfuck at the end of it. So then the next time I did a special, I had a fucking clock. And, I just did another special. I learned something on that. And I was like, what the fuck? When am I going to have this thing down? There's always going to be obstacles. It's just basically how it is. All right? So there we go. Hey, Bill, this is entitled Afraid to Break Up with Girlfriend. I'm going to read slow so this takes up as much time as possible. Hey, Bill. I'd like to get your advice on something. I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year now, and I've been thinking about breaking up with her. Well, it's time to break up with her, sir. All right? Been dating her for a year, If you're thinking about breaking it, it's time. Okay? He says, we get along fine, and we rarely argue. I was just thinking of a great way to break up with someone. They should invent like a breakup suit, right? Just something where you just cannot get injured, and you just put the thing on with the fucking helmet. You don't wear the helmet. You just put the onesie zip up on, and which totally protects everything, right? And then you get in the passenger seat and you let her drive. Now, why are you going to let me drive? Well, you just drive tonight. But you always like to drive. Honey, you just drive. Okay, why are you wearing that suit? It's all going to make sense in about 5 miles. Right? You get out on the fucking highway, and you just start talking to her. And out of nowhere, you just put the helmet on. And she says, what are you doing? And just say, listen, I don't want to go out with you anymore. And then she goes, what? And you go, hey, watch this. And you just open the door and you roll out of the fucking car. That's it. You're out. Type up a fake police report. You tell them that you died. Then she feels bad for you. You don't have to deal with any sort of repercussions. Anyways, he says, we get along fine and we rarely argue. But I'm starting to realize I don't really want to be with her for the long haul. When we started dating, this fucking thing. These iPads suck, by the way. All right? You know what an iPad is? It's a fucking laptop for pussies. What's the matter? Your laptop is too heavy, you fucking douchebag? This thing doesn't have a keyboard. It's got nothing. You think that they don't know how to make this thing into a fucking laptop already? Of course they do. This is the Steve Jobs way of doing things. Rather than just giving you the whole fucking thing, he's going to give it to you in increments like a goddamn drug dealer. That's why I haven't bought one of these yet. This is Nia's, by the way. I borrowed this fucking thing. And I am not enjoying it, as you can tell, as I'm throwing a temper tantrum here. You know when I'm going to buy a fucking iPad? I'm going to buy it when it is a laptop, when it is a little light laptop. Until then, I'm not having this fucking. This is like when you go, I really want to get the new Camaro, and then you get the one with the V6 engine rather than getting the full out one with the stick shift, which is a laptop, right? It's too heavy. Fucking do shoulders at the gym next time you do that, okay? Maybe do that. Maybe do some stuff to build up your wrists. Oh, God, Bill, can you get through the question? All right, I will. He says, when we first started dating, I loved hanging out with her, but I'm just not into her anymore. Does that make me an asshole? No, it doesn't. Why would your own true feelings make you an asshole, sir? How awful were your parents? He says, I'm 23 years old with a somewhat... Why am I... I'm really being a cunt this week. This guy's asking for my advice. Let's try to bring the anger down, Bill. You're frustrated. It's fucking hot in here. You can't open the window because you say cunt too much. This building's a co-op, and they'll kick you out. Okay? That's what's going on here. It has nothing to do with this person, okay? So why don't you just try to be a nice guy? That's what I should have done off the mic, like I'm scolding myself. Just try to be a nice guy. Let's not take out your bad day on everyone else, okay? You're embarrassing me. All right, I'm 23 years old with somewhat of a decent job and really just want to go back to being single for a while. Exactly, dude. You're 23 years old. Dude, you're a fucking movie star at that age. I don't care what you're doing for a living. You should definitely be single. He said the problem is she's got a lot of stress in her life right now. Not your problem. She's finishing nursing school and trying to find a job. All right, we'll tell her to put on the outfit, bang her one more time, and, hey, watch this. You bail out of the car. Oh, that's mean. Anyways, he says, and she has a history of depression. Over the past year, I feel like she's becoming emotionally dependent on me, like I'm keeping her going or something. Well, Jesus Christ, no wonder you want to get rid of her. You don't want this. You know? You want someone that's going to be fun to be around. You don't want her, it's sunny out and she's acting like it's raining out. The fucking head under the pillow. One of these days, you stay with that long enough, one of these days you're just going to he's going to smother her with that pillow. So anyways, so how do I go about breaking up with her while causing the least amount of damage? He said, also, she always leaves some of her shit in my apartment. Yes, because she wants to fucking... Oh, yeah, she's clinging on to you. He says clothes, blanket, other random shit. I try to get her to take her shit home with her, but how do I avoid after breakup coming over to get my stuff? I hate that. Anyway, go fuck yourself. All right. Look, there's no easy way to break up with somebody. All right? There's just easier ways. The sooner the better. I know, dude. This is like dismantling a bomb. So, what you would like to do is say, hey, can you come by today? I want to talk to you about something, right? And sure, I'll be right over. And then immediately just take out a box, put all of her shit in it, tape it up, and then she rings the bell. Bing, bong. You open the door. You go, yeah, don't want to date you anymore. And you just hand her the box and close the door, right? Dude, there's money to be made in this, man. Does anybody have a professional breakup service? That's such a pussy thing to do, but that would be phenomenal. You make your person feel like they got fired. Like when a corporation fires you and just two security people show up, confiscate your computer and then escort you out of the building. Wouldn't that be great? Dude, that's what you should do. Just hire two of your friends to dress up like security guards. Tell her you want to break up. And then they have all her shit in the box. And then they escort her right out of your apartment building like she got fired. It'll come off as professional rather than like personal. How do you go about breaking up with her? You know what I would do? I wouldn't put all her shit in the box because that's going to come off cold, and you don't want to hurt her feelings like that. So I would just... fuck it. I don't know how to do it. Why did I drink last night? And then I got up and did Opie and Anthony. What the fuck is wrong with me? I knew I had a podcast to do. You're embarrassing me. I don't fucking know. Just have her come over and just say, listen, I'm not happy. Oh, that's a great one. That's a classic. Like if you were a singer-songwriter, the second you said that, the whole crowd would start applauding, recognizing the big hit. Of all the girls I knew before, they all start fucking clapping. If they just came out, you just did classic breakup monologues. Listen, I'm just not happy. Everyone just that smattering of applause. You wait for it to die down. Let the orchestra come around again. You jump back in on the one. Man, just tell you you're not happy. I'm not happy anymore. And dude, let me tell you something. Her being depressed is not your fucking problem. All right? Her being depressed is the fucking problem. How can you do this to me? What do you mean, how can I do this to you? You know what would be worse if I fucking stayed with you and I didn't love you? I don't love you anymore. I don't love you, depressed whore. I just called you a whore as a generic term. I'm not happy. I want out. Okay? I just feel like I want to be single right now. I just don't feel like I'm going to be with you in the long haul. We'll just be wasting each other's time. My time is important, and so is yours. All right? I don't want to go anymore. But I'll tell you what, if you go to Stamps.com, they'll give you $55 free stamps and a scale. That's what you do. Just tag every mean thing you say with all the advertising. You know, if you go to Amazon.com through Bill Burr's website, you know, click on the little Amazon banner. Whatever you buy, you know, portion of that money goes back to Bill Burr, and then the percentage of that goes to the Wounded Warriors Project. So I know I'm breaking up with you right now, but we could also support the troops. Right? Sir, look, there's no fucking easy way to do this, and you're going to be sitting there. How many more holidays? How many more birthdays? How many more Christmases, which is a holiday? Sorry, you always need 3 examples. Do you want to go through with this person? How many more times do you want to go out and rent bikes, go to a picnic, sit there on a sunny day as she's sitting there with that cloud over her fucking head? You know, dude, you know, don't do that to yourself. You want fucking people who are just wonderful human beings, and they just end up with assholes. I swear to God, assholes, they look for wonderful human beings because other assholes are not going to put up with them. You know? So you need to be an asshole here. You know, the how society looks as an asshole, like you're being selfish. You're not being selfish. All right? Choose yourself. Choose your own fucking life. Dump her and get on with your life. You know? This is what you do. You get yourself a 6 of fucking pale ale or whatever beer you like. You stick a couple of glasses in the fucking freezer. All right? Like anticipation of this championship that you know you're going to win. You know? Like they did in the Red Sox dugout when they had the champagne on ice in Game 6 in 1986 before they had to quickly wheel it out. Okay? Except you're not going to let this one go through your legs, sir. You're kicking this one right in the cunt, and you're taking home the fucking championship. And when it's over, all you got to be just thinking about those frosty fucking brews in the fridge. Just think about that. Just look at the clock when she walks in. All right? Let's say she comes in at 10 past 2. Just say to yourself, worst case scenario, by 3:30, I'm going to be sitting down on this fucking couch, all right, with my goddamn phone off, drinking a couple of 5 or 6 of these things. And then that's it. All right? And then don't fucking have post-breakup sex. Don't do that, because then she'll think that you're back together again. Fuck all of that. All right? Well, I just got to come by and get my stuff. Okay. When do you want to come by? This is coming off really cold. She's going to do all of that and just try to keep dragging you back into the fucking thing. I don't know if this is a punk thing to do, but after you break up with her, just don't answer the phone when she calls. And then she'll finally just say, listen, I gotta come by and get my stuff. Can you text her back? Fuck it, just be a man. What is she gonna do? Body slam you? She's just gonna make you feel bad. All right? Oh, why'd you break up with me? Is it because I don't blow you enough? No, it's because you're a mopey. You're sucking the life out of me. You know, and when you get that sad look on your face, you look like a Muppet. There, I said it. All right? There's your shit over there in the corner. I got a couple of cool ones in the fridge. So why don't you do me a favor, all right? Get over there, bend down, lift with your knees, get your shit, and get the fuck out of here. What do you say there, Toots? Your Prince Charming is out there somewhere. You know? It ain't here. I'm not riding that horse anymore, okay? I just shot it in the back of the head. It's over. Okay, so why don't you trudge on out of here there, fucking Cinderella. Go look at a mirror, go climb up in a tower and fucking drop your hair out, whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. Kiss a frog. All right, I got drinking to do. But beat it. Something like that. Like I said, all that bullshit I said, 10 past 2, it's over by 3:30. By 3:30, you're boozing. All right? I don't know. No, they're fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Banging my roommate.
I'm reading
The Fallout. As read.
by the lovely Nia.
Make sure you don't block the microphone down the bottom.
Okay. I'm 22 years old in my last semester of university, and I live with one girl who happens to be hot. I found myself in this situation by only needing a 4-month term sublease to finish my final semester. A friend of mine who was moving out of state to complete her nursing placement offered to sublet her room to me at a very reasonable price for the quality of apartment. I accepted without knowing or meeting my soon-to-be roommate. The hot roommate was briefed on me and was okay with living with a guy. Fast forward 2 weeks into living together, we're banging on the couch. Wow, that escalated quickly. Oh, there's somebody at the door.
All right.
I'll keep reading.
Okay.
We're banging on the couch. From this moment to about mid-October, I was untouchable. Insert picture of Muhammad Ali after a knockout. It was around that mid-October point where she decided to stop hooking up with me because she started talking to another guy from her hometown, 7 hours away. Where I have a problem is not with heartbreak or heart feelings. Oh, come on now. It's more with the level of resentment on her side. She's gotten really cold, standoffish, and passive-aggressive with me. It's to a point where she goes to her room when I get home. We don't really talk anymore. What have I done and how do I fix it? I'm not sure I see a future with her, but she's cool and I'd rather not have her hate me. She's a pretty laid-back person, and her mom constantly bugs her about getting a real job. She's a waitress. At the beginning of November, that is a real job. At the beginning of November, I got a job at a consulting firm, which I worked really hard to get. She didn't care in the slightest. While we were hooking up, she also told me constantly about the other guy she was talking to. Oh, baby. We agreed to be open, but I found it a bit much. Looking for a game plan here. Longtime fan of the show. Thanks and go fuck yourself.
So what happened? They start banging. And
Woo, child.
Somebody caught feelings. What happened?
He caught feelings. Even though he said where I have a problem is not with heartbreak or hurt feelings. Yeah, she basically banged him because she was trying to get over some guy. While we were hooking up, she also constantly told me about the other guy she was talking to. Right. So this was a between guys bang. You know, it's kind of like a buffer, like because you're in between a rebound, or you're kind of wishing to be with somebody else. So you end up banging somebody who's really into you and is giving you a lot of compliments, and you know the dick is right next door because you're roommates, so that's super easy. You ain't gotta like get up and get all dressed up. It's like, you know, you'll just take it because you think I'm the best. And you know, you got used, you got played.
How did he get used? He got to bang a hot chick.
But he doesn't. But you didn't did you not hear the rest of it? Like,
no, I answered the door. You don't remember?
Oh, right. No, he's upset because she just dropped him like a hot potato, and she's being really cold to him and is not really talking to him.
Dude, that's the shit.
She used
That's
you.
the fucking shit.
It's over.
That's
done.
fucking great. And this is the thing, dude. Just who gives a fuck?
I know.
You got to bang this hot chick, and then she acted the way a guy usually acts, which is the best. We just walk away from it. Women are all like, can I have one of your T-shirts, right? She just walked away. Get on with your fucking life.
Exactly. It's done.
Yeah, get on with your fucking life. Who gives a fuck?
You're 22 years old, so perhaps you haven't heard the saying, don't shit where you eat. Don't ever start fucking your roommate. Because when it goes bad or when it's over, very rarely can you just exist and it's not awkward.
Exactly. That's why it's fucking awesome, because now she's just totally blowing him off. They live together, and then it's like perfect. So I would just sit down and just say, hey, listen, I realize we're not hooking up anymore, which is totally cool, but like you barely even talk to me. Like I don't have any fucking hard feelings over it. So like,
yeah.
You know, you want some Fruit Loops?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe
just try to
like kind of call her out on being immature about the situation. It's like, you don't gotta treat me like shit now just because we're not fucking. Because that's listen, I was sort of teasing you before, but it's not cool that she's just rude to you now that she's had your way with you and she's done with your dick and she's so free.
Dude, she's like the greatest roommate ever. All she wanted to do was fuck you for a while, and then she left. What is the problem? She's on my Mount Rushmore of fucking roommates.
I mean, the fact that you got to bang her is pretty, because you could have easily gotten friend zoned. She's sitting here constantly talking about other guys that she's seeing. You could have gotten friend zoned. So, you know, at least you got laid.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Silver lining.
The glass is not half full. The glass is full. Mm-hmm. And your balls are empty there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is a good one. How to break up with someone you live with. You know who should Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened there? Too many hits to the head there. The people who need this information are all these morons you see on these murder shows. the amount of people that I watch on these murder shows that my wife thankfully has taken a break from. She goes through phases where she's just like mainlining Dateline NBC. And we end up, I don't know, it's so fucked up because we're watching murder shows, but we end up getting a lot of laughs in that I just fucking tease her for like, why are you watching this? I just start mocking how horrible they are. And then I just start singing, go to sleep, go to sleep. Like, why would you watch this right before you go to bed? But one of the things I've noticed is the amount of people, the first major crime they try to commit is not only murder somebody, but it's somebody they know. That is the hardest fucking thing in the world to get away with unless you work for the government. No. It's the hardest thing to get away with because you're automatically a suspect. You'd never been busted for anything, so you're not like some hardened criminal that knows how to fucking handle interrogation to be like, am I being charged with anything? If I am, I want a lawyer. If not, I'm going to leave. I'm pleading the fifth. They don't do that. They go out and they always bury them in like their backyard. There always seems to be like I got to tell you something right now. If your neighbor is putting in a well, he's thinking about killing his wife. All right? If the guy's wife says, you know, you catch her in the pet store and she has a weird look on her face and says, yeah, we got a rodent problem. Yeah, she's trying to kill her husband. All right, the smart ones go to Home Depot and they buy a plate, a pane of glass. That's what you do, and you bash it up microscopically and you just start putting it in their food. I think that's how it's done. I don't know. I know guys are supposed to be more evil, but at least if you get killed by a guy, it's over quickly. Like women, I swear to God, Jesus Christ, it takes them like 8 months to slowly kill you. You know, there's a lot of women in prison that could write a book called The 8-Month Murder. It's fucking hilarious. It almost takes them this is an 80s joke. It takes them almost the same amount to have an orgasm as it does to kill somebody. Thank you. Reaganomics, everybody. Anyway, this I actually believe, if you're a progressive school, they should have a class, a requirement that teaches young people, how to break up with people, teaches people how to know when a relationship isn't working, you know, and there would be less broken hearts. There'd be less murders. You know, I would think the Dateline NBC lobby would do everything they could in Washington to stop these courses from being being taught to kids in college. And you know what they would do? They would just, all you got to do is to kill it. All you got to do is label it as socialism or communism, and it's going to be this socialist agenda. Then that'll be it. It'll be over. But yeah, the amount of time that you waste and the people you hurt and all that type of stuff. So, you know, there becomes that thing. I remember a long time ago, I knew this woman. And she was dating this guy, and she was living with him, and she would always go like, yeah, can't leave now. She just kept saying that. And it didn't register to me when I was younger. And then they got a car together, and they ended up breaking up. And the whole time she wanted out, and she just kept getting in deeper and deeper and deeper. It probably affected her sleep, crushed that guy because he probably thought he met the one and all that. And all you need is just some information like this, all right? Because there's a lot of people listening right now who want to get out of a relationship. All right, I'm going to read what they say, and then I'll give you my tricks to the trade. Okay, because when you're like a young guy, right? Like your first, like, you know those guys that are just like, I'm just going to act like a dick so she breaks up with me. Stupid. Rip the Band-Aid off. Rent a tuxedo. You get a top hat, right? You learn an Al Jolson song, but you change the lyrics and you just sing about how you're going to break up with her. I'm sorry. I wish I knew an Al Jolson song. How to break up with someone you live with. Here we go. Hey, Billy Red Rocks. I was almost going to call it that special. My wife was like, don't name it after you nuts. And I was like, you're right. Loved your recent special, and it's also a more obvious joke, especially when my listeners are coming up with it too. All right, loved your recent special and all that jazz. Thank you. Let's get right to it. I have been with my girlfriend for 3 years now, but have decided that it's time to end things amicably. All right, good for you. The only issue is that we live together. Can you give me and listeners some advice on how to break up with someone whom you live with? Thanks a bunch. All right. This is definitely, there's a degree of difficulty here. All right, I'm standing up now. I'm walking around. All right, let's go with the positives. You're not with the person that you want to be with, and you're aware of it. And you're going to do this. All right? And there's no way to do this without making a mess. So let's try to make the least amount of mess. Okay? So the number one thing is you're going to break up with her, and you still have to live with her. Now, ideally, you already have another place to go. Okay? Now there are extreme ways of doing. You can do it this way. Okay? I'm kind of doing the cowardly way because you don't want to fucking deal with her. You don't want to deal with her. You want to get the fuck out. Let's just be a man here. You want to get the fuck. Hell hath no fury, and you want to be away from the fury. So if there's a way that you can somehow put a deposit down on another apartment, unless she's totally dependent on you. I don't know what your financial situation is, but I know a guy. Oh, I know a guy. This is how he did it. His wife went out on his girlfriend went out on the road, and he already planned to do it, but he knew that she was nuts. So he already had another place. She left, and the second the wheels left fucking LaGuardia or wherever the fuck they were, his brother came over. They packed up all his shit. They moved it to the new fucking place. And then they sat down. Then when she came back, he sat down. And she's like, where's all your stuff? And he's like, where I'm going to be living from now on because we're not going out anymore. Now, that's the fast way to do it. Listen, you moved in. On some level, you're going to have to be like, there's no easy way around this. So if you're not in that type of financial position, which most people aren't, the biggest thing, all you have to do is break up with her. All right? You don't have to, just stop catastrophizing about how awful it's going to be, because it's going to suck. All right? So what I would do is know that she's going to be upset. She has a right to be upset. And just don't get in any arguments with her. And let her say everything she's going to say. You know, if she trashes your family, she makes fun of your dick size or your ability in bed and all the shit that when a woman gets mad, you know, God knows. I mean, it's all, they can, no subject is off limits. They will try to rip your fucking soul out. She might not be. She might be cool. I have no idea. But I'm just saying, prepare for the worst. Here's the deal. Every time when she comes at you and she says that, just think in your head, imagine if I married that. Thank God I'm not marrying that. She is saying all this horrible shit to me right now because this is her last chance to do it. And then you're going to get the fuck out of there and it's going to be good. All right? And I don't know what your living situation is. If it's a one bedroom, that's good because at least you can sleep on the couch. You won't have to sleep next to her. If it's a studio, I mean, I don't know. This is what I would say. If she's making your life a living fucking hell, I would literally call your parents and just say, listen, I need 2 weeks to find a place. I got to get out of here. And I would take a sick day, and when she's at work, I would just take all of your shit. Okay? Anything even remotely questionable, hey, I paid for half of that couch, fuck it. Leave it. Just take all of your shit, pack it up, and just get the fuck out. That's what I would do. Why prolong it? All right? So I need more information. If listeners have been in that situation, I fortunately was never in that situation. So I can't speak from experience, but I do know of guys where they were living there and then the girlfriend immediately started bringing other guys home. You know, have you ever been that guy? You know, you come home, you think, with the chick, you think you're hooking up, and you realize you're just spiteful cock for the evening. And the whole time you're like, is there a lock on this door? Is that door bulletproof? Like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Why don't you get all the way out of your last relationship? I'm out, guys. Like, that's what you wish you had the maturity to do. But as I've said in my other specials, your dick is a dreamer. Your dick believes, nah, man, we can do it. We can pull this off. It's not going to be a problem. He broke up with her. He doesn't care. You're going to be fine. Sexting, all right. This isn't really, well, this is about this guy. He, remember I told you that story about that dude. He worked for some corporation, Sea Cubicles, all right? And I'm sure he's on some sort of team.
Right.
And everybody has to do some sort of song before they go in there, like those poor kids who
morale
work at
building exercises.
Yeah, like those people who work at the Cold Stone Creamery. You ever see them with making like the goddamn ice cream going hi ho, hi ho. Yeah. It's off to work. I just that like a part of me dies when I see that. When I just see people like it's like basically watching someone work in like an ice cream death camp. When I'm in there. None of them are happy. None of them dreamed of doing that.
Ice cream death camp.
Maybe if you're like a fatty, when you got a job at an ice cream store, kind of like a pedophile getting a job at like a Cub Scout camp.
Wow.
Isn't that where they always end up? I love working with kids.
Oh, God.
I said that last week. Follow your dreams unless you're a pedophile.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then using that, I shouldn't say that I have a problem with fatties working in the ice cream store. Let's get to this shit. So anyways, so they're going to get everybody in shape. So they hire some sort of personal trainer, and he's training everybody. All right? And what he does is he gets everybody's emails.
Right.
Great move on this guy's part. Fucking great move. Now he doesn't have to deal with them face to face. And if there's any fucking hotties he wants to bang, he can take it to the next level.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Okay.
Shooting fish in a fucking barrel, or fishing barrels in a shooting gallery. So, anyways, so all of a sudden this guy notices that he gets one text going, "Hey Brad, just do a couple more jumping jacks and you should be fine." But for some reason, his little hottie wife has to get like 40 fucking texts from this guy at like 11:30 at night.
I do remember this.
Yeah,
so he and his wife work at the same place, obviously.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Work at the same place, right? So he fucking he finds out about. He keeps asking his wife.
I remember this. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to recap for people who didn't listen last week. All right. So he keeps catching his wife late at night texting, going, and he goes, "Who are you texting?" And she would immediately slam the phone shut because she's got a flip phone, evidently, and would say nobody. Either would say nobody or would get mad and say nobody.
Right.
So this guy's not a moron. He figures out something's up.
Sure.
He's into some sort of fucking Spygate shit where he's at. He hacks into her thing, gets her password, and sees that all these text messages back and forth to trainer. So what does he do? He's a goddamn man. Does he slap his fucking wife around? No. He goes right to the trainer and says, "Hey," slaps him around and says, "Hey, sport." No, because you get sued. You get sued for that now. You get sued for kicking somebody's ass when you're right.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, sport, why don't you do me a favor and stop texting my fucking wife in all hours of the night?" So then Sporto there immediately starts acting like a bitch around him, starts acting overly nice, like, what all guilty people do.
Right,
If he was innocent, he would have got mad.
Sure.
Be like, "Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I always text people about how to make their core stronger at 2 a.m. I'm dedicated. Maybe you should be inspired by what I'm doing. I specifically am interested in women having a strong core because they're so beaten down in society." He would have come back with some shit like that, but he didn't. Now he's all like, "Hey, man, how are you?" With this whole, "Please don't beat the shit out of me and expose me for being the dirtbag I am so I lose this giant money-making client here," right? Yeah. So anyways, she denies the whole fucking thing. So he sent a couple of texts that this girl wrote. They were talking about the Beatles, and he writes, "All those damn Beatles songs make my stomach hurt when I listen to them because it reminds me of getting ready to go see you. They give me anxiety." This is what the trainer is writing to this guy's wife. Now, what sort of exercise are they talking about there? Is that what is that? Is that push-ups? So then she writes back, "All the lonely people, where do they all belong?"
Oh, God.
Right? And then he said, I remember you asking me if I related that song to you because I thought you were lonely. He's talking about our fucking marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. This guy's a dirtbag.
It's the classic.
I love him.
I love him. It's the classic. He listens to me.
Yeah. Oh, this guy, he's just saying everything.
To me. We talk about music.
Yeah.
My feelings.
Oh, yeah.
My husband doesn't do that.
Right. And what it is his dick is downloading all the knowledge in this guy's brain that he has about human beings. And he's just giving her, and the dick is just is basically sitting in the Captain Kirk chair. He's just fucking anything she wants to hear. So anyways.
Sure.
Then he write another one. He said, I know, fuck my life. I wear my fuck my life to sleep, and I have a confession to make. I also wear your panties. She goes, LOL, shut up. He writes, it's true. So, I don't know what kind of fucking shit this guy's into, but the real question is not whether or not that's socially acceptable. The real question is, how did he get this married woman's panties? He at least finger blasted her. Would you go with me on that?
I mean, maybe he's just saying that to be just like controversial. Or
That's
something.
what I thought.
Like
but she goes, LOL, shut up. He goes, it's true.
Yeah, but he just still may be joking.
Were you talking to the mic?
Oh, he may just still be joking around. But if he
It's
is wearing,
true.
But if he is, she gave it to him. How else would he have him? And they're talking about the Beatles and
whatever,
shit. She
whatever.
gave it to him. If it's true.
Okay, so that's basically what I'm saying. So
okay.
He's got her fucking panties. They're both adults. I'm guessing by this she's like in her 30s. What is he doing? Fingering her and taking her out for a malt? He's banging her. He fucking banged her. This fucking piece of shit. Who'd be a great movie. This is a great character for a fucking movie. So anyways, he said, and that's what he said. His wife, she's still denying this whole conversation ever happened. She's just in complete, obviously, denial. She's in denial. He said, I'm dumping her, not for the reminiscing talk, but for lying to me.
He's not interested in trying to...
Please say that, Nia, and I swear to God, I'm going to throw my computer at you. I will throw this fucking computer at you. Are you fucking... He's not interested in what?
I don't know. Working it out? Don't throw it at me.
No. Go ahead. I'm just going to leave you in dead silence. Go ahead. Tell me.
No. I don't know. No, he's well within his right. I was just posing a question. That's all.
Well within his right.
I don't understand why it doesn't just fess up then.
All right,
like
that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. I mean,
I just feel like you know what it is.
I
feel like
here?
something's.
What is the move here other than
part of the
walking
story
away?
is missing. No, I feel like part of the story is missing or something.
What, the video of them fucking? Is that what's missing? What else is missing?
If he's like, hey,
Nia, if you start blaming him for not paying attention and that's why she's fucking this guy, I will fucking throw you out of this room. All right.
No, I'm not. Calm down. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying. So he says to her, are you cheating on her? Are you fucking this guy? And she's like, no, shut up. What are you talking about? Like, and she just flat out deny. I don't understand how she can flat out deny something as hardcore.
Because she's a piece of shit.
That's why I'm saying.
Because she's a lying piece of shit. Nia.
Yeah, but if you have something and you're like looking at it, like this is what you wrote, how are you denying it?
Because that's what denial is. You're totally in denial. I don't have a drinking problem. Is you fucking drinking NyQuil? I think it tastes good. I don't have a problem.
Right. Yeah.
I like sleeping. You know?
Yeah.
You know what it is? I'm just making sure you keep speaking to the mic. This is what you keep doing. I want people to hear what you have to say.
Oh, okay. All right.
But this is good shit.
And I'm ruining it?
No, you're saying it off mic. Good fucking Lord. You know what kills me? Is you was still, like, it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna piss you off right now. You ladies will defend, because you guys defend each other, like right there. If a guy did that,
I'm not defending her.
Well, can I get out what I'm gonna say? If a guy did that shit, you'd be like, dump his ass, girl. He's a fucking loser. You can do better than that. Call me. We'll eat a little moon pie. I'll build you up. That's what the fuck you would have done. But because, I just feel like some part of the story is missing. Like, what is missing?
I guess nothing.
Thank you, Nia. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah. Is that what you wanted? Yeah, you just wanted me to come on and agree with you?
A good fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not agree with me. Agree with the decision this guy made. This isn't about me, Nia. Please. Okay? I'm just a messenger here.
Sure.
You know? I'm just trying to do what's right out here.
Because it's very clear what's happening, and you got someone who's just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, here's the deal. Man or woman, if the person you're with is texting past, I would even, for regular people who aren't in show business.
The booty hour starts after 11, I would say.
After 11?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's with somebody you're already fucking. Okay? I know you don't understand it because you don't have to talk yourself into it. Guys, we have to spin the plates from the second we meet her all the way through. So you got to be setting it up.
Okay, I've always
7:30 is too creepy and stalkerish. And I would say you start going past 9:30, she's going to feel like she's some sort of tramp. If you haven't fucked her yet, right? So there's that window. About 8:15 to about 9:07. You have to do the setup text. Okay, and the setup text is not talking about pussy. It's I'm watching blah, blah, blah on TV. So-and-so is so ridiculous. Some sort of fucking just to get it going. You know what I mean?
Right. Something that seems very benign.
Yeah, like a boxer. You feel him out in the first round.
Or the Beatles.
Yeah, you don't load it up, right? You're feeling it up. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Right.
This fucking guy. This guy. You know something? As much of a piece of shit as that guy is, if he writes a book, I would read it in a second.
Why?
Because he's got great. I mean, the position he has. That's like when I used to take that yoga class when I was out here, and there was that guy out in Santa Monica, and he was a phenomenal fucking teacher.
Right.
And this place was jam packed, and it was by donation only. So then, for tax purposes, I think he falls under a church. I know it helped him with taxes, and it's all in cash, so it's all good. All right, and then the hottest fucking women, some of the hottest women ever move out to L.A. to become actresses. Okay,
Yeah.
He's got him in his class, getting them all stretched out before he bangs them. It was one of the greatest. it was fucking airtight.
Yeah.
And he would go around the class, and somehow me, having never touched my toes since I was in the womb, was somehow always doing every position correctly, yet all these other hotties always needed to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Right around the psoas. So I don't get mad at a guy who's got a good thing, but you know, stay away from the fucking married lady. All right, condoms. Hey, Billy Stretch Nuts. It's a lady. Billy Stretch. I don't know what that means. Oh, from a lady. The ladies are all writing in now. I love it.
Me too.
My boyfriend can't bust a nut with the condom on.
Wait, can I please read this?
Parentheses, loser.
I want to read these. I want to read these. No, let me read it again because I'm not having fun reading them. Condoms.
Just make sure you're talking to the microphone. Don't block and leak the thumb.
I'm not. Look, isn't it right here? Where is the microphone?
I know, but somewhere on the bottom.
Somewhere on the bottom. You know, my boyfriend can't bust a nut with a condom on, loser. He insists it's because of the condom. You know he's lying to you, right? We got into a big argument about it. About if the sensation is different. Duh, of course it is. But when I told him it was different for both of us, he didn't believe me. Listen, guys, the walls/hurdles between us work both ways. It's like a pap smear. Oh, it went away. Why does it keep going away?
I don't know. Hang on. Putting the password in.
Oh.
That's not what you want. You want to be up here.
Okay. It feels like a pap smear. Is it schmear? Is it Yiddish? Who the fuck knows? You're a woman. You should know what it is. Or putting a beer bottle in my cooter. It's just friction. Oh, you're one of these. I talk just like the guys, girls, huh? By the way, you look like someone stretched a lambskin condom over a skeleton. That's so mean.
Oh, she said that about me? That's fucking hilarious.
Yes, it's hilarious. What are your learned views about the condom situation? My boyfriend is we don't say that word anymore. If Nia's around, maybe ask her. Would love to hear your views. Still waiting on that nut. Oh my God, I love this email.
All right, I can answer this. She's taken this personally, subconsciously, because he's not getting there, that's a reflection on her.
He's lying to her about busting a nut in a condom.
What do you mean?
He just wants to raw dog her.
Oh, I thought he was already fucking her with the condom and he couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was saying my boyfriend can't bust a nut with the condom on. So I don't know if that means, no, this guy's like, listen, if you just fucking are constantly, if you weren't wearing a condom in your last relationship, or you weren't in a relationship and you were just fucking jerking off with your hand, when you put a condom on, it feels like you're still wearing your pants. All right?
Yeah,
and
it does feel different.
Yeah, and if, you know, if you, there's all kinds of things that can fuck with it. If you watch too much fucking porn, you can have performance problems, there's all that. I just think she's taking this, like, personally. I mean, the fact that he can't bust out with a condom on, you know, and she goes loser. That's like,
not cool.
That's like hostile.
Yeah, it is.
So that's like defensive. That's what I'm guessing, because there's a bunch of guys that are like a bunch of guys that like fucking are in long-term relationships and come out. I had that problem for a minute.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's normal.
Yeah, like, so what you got to do is, for him, tell him to start jerking off with the condom on. It sucks.
Get used to it?
Yeah, you just sort of get used to it. Or don't fucking do anything for like a week or something, and he'll be ready to fuck a fucking desk at that point. And maybe that'll help. What am I, Dr. Drew? I don't know. But I can tell you this, name calling him and saying that he's a loser and all of that type of shit is, that's not the solution.
Also, it feels like a pap smear or putting a beer bottle in my cooter. It's just friction. Okay, here's the thing. I feel pretty confident that this is a male pretending to be a female writing in. Because no woman would ever say, it feels like a pap smear. What is it? Shmee? Shmee? Is it Yiddish? Or a beer bottle in my cooter? It's just friction. Women don't talk like this.
No,
y'all need to stop playing around with these fucking emails.
No,
you can tell when they're fake.
No, but sometimes people also feel like they have to be as dumb as me. I feel, or as crude as I am.
Listen, guys, the walls / hurdles between us work both ways. It feels like a passion or what? It's just friction? A pap, like, no. Because if you've had a pap smear, you would never say that. I
had one.
No, you didn't.
I did. No, I got a complete checkup.
You did not have a pap smear.
I did. I made sure they checked me for everything.
You didn't have a pap smear. Fake letter.
Fake news. You say that's fake? I don't know. I don't think it is.
Yep. 100%.
All right. Dealing with girlfriend's mom. Girlfriend's mother. Dear Billiam, I'm 24 years old. You know, it's funny. I always do this Boston accent. I think that it fucks with my language for the rest of the week. My language? No, my accent for the rest of the week. I'm 24 years old and recently started. Let's see if I can pronounce my R's through all of this. I'm 24 years old and recently started dating a new gal. She's a complete sweetheart. Sorry. Also 24 years old, but her mom already hates me. What do you got, a mullet? You got an earring? You got a loud car? Do you got that look, I'm going to fuck your daughter? What's going on with you? He says, I'm a pretty successful guy for my age. College graduate. I have a house, legit office job, etc. How the fuck you got a house at 24? Do you come from money or are you dealing? Dude, if you're a college graduate and you legitimately found a job and were able to buy a house, like, I don't know, like, you're probably like one of 5 people from your generation that's able to do that with this fucking economy. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Congratulations. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you don't have a meth lab in your bathroom. Anyways, the girl lives at home, and before me, she was dating a guy in medical school. Her mom crept through my Facebook profile and decided, based on the suburb I'm from, the school I went to, and the fact I'm not a doctor, I'm not good enough for her daughter. Oh, which means she probably pressured her daughter to go date a fucking doctor. Or, you know, she dated a doctor trying to make her mom happy. That's what I'm guessing, with my lack of a psychology degree. But my cynical, everybody's a cunt way of looking at stuff. Well, after 3 months of dating and accepting I might be around for a while, they finally agreed to meet me. Her dad seems like a nice guy. It's just the mom I have to, air quote, impress. So here's the issue. I can't play the redneck stereotype too hard by wearing acid-wash jeans and a Def Leppard T-shirt because my girl will get pissed off. But to my advantage, I own 2 cars, both of which will annoy her and deem me a fucking hick. Which option, in your opinion, would be funnier parked in the wraparound driveway of their $1 million house? And now he sent me pictures of his 2 fucking sweet rides. He's got a 2006 Ford Mustang GT. This is my daily driver. It's blue with silver racing stripes and lowered 2 inches. I have the cats removed and full exhaust. I don't know what that means. What, catalytic converters? I have no idea what that even means. I just love that you assume that I knew. So it's loud as shit, and it's a 5-speed, so I can play like I sucked at driving a stick and do the rev and release clutch move that all 16-year-olds do. That should rattle their stainless steel appliances and granite countertops. Number 2, I got a 1991 Ford F-150 4x4. My bad weather / housework, I think you beat her? You wrote better. 351 Windsor, motherfucker. 2-tone red and white single cab red bench seat. It has plenty of NRA stickers on the back from the previous owner. My favorite being fight crime, shoot back. Oh, dude, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. I think you got to go with the truck. Fender wells are rusting out, and there's several rust holes in the bed. It also leaks coolant and oil and would leave a nice stain in the driveway. I don't plan on being a dick or anything when I meet them, but if she's going to judge me without even knowing me, I'd hate to let her down. Enclosed are pictures of both cars and the bumper sticker on the truck. Please advise. That's what we say at the end of emails in bullshit corporate America. Oh, please advise. Dude, those are beautiful cars, man. I love 2-tone pickup trucks too, by the way. This is what pull up in your pickup, and then the next time you come over in the car, and that'll do the other stereotype that people who don't come from money always, buy depreciating assets. I don't know, dude. It all depends on how much you care about this girl, because your whole attitude is perfect. You shouldn't give a fuck whether she likes you or not. You really shouldn't. There's nothing you can do about it. Just, romance her daughter if you love her. If you don't, get rid of her. Don't stick around just out of spite. But I would definitely go with the pickup truck, man. The pickup truck's fucking hilarious. But you know something? The Mustang's cool, too. That Mustang says, I'm going to bang your daughter before we even get to the restaurant. And it's loud. Maybe the Mustang. Do you got a mullet? How about a clip-on earring? I don't know. Anyways. Do it! Anyways, friend's wife is attracted to me. Jesus Christ. Dear Billiard the Cue-Bald. The Cue-Bald. I like that. Appreciate the podcast and everything you do, and thank you for taking the time to read this email. No problem. Thank you for the funny nickname. I like it. I'm in a tricky situation here. There are 4 people involved. My buddy of 12 years. Oh, man. His wife of 2 years. Dude, where's your loyalty? My girlfriend of 6 months. And myself. We are all in our mid to late 20s. Oh, boy. It has recently come to light that the wife is interested in me. Oh, geez. You just skipped over a lot of fucking details. How did that come about? She sent you a Valentine? Or were you guys having inappropriate conversation that led to that? Anyways, I met her about 3 years ago while she and my buddy were still just dating. She was my type, and I was drawn to her immediately. She is at least a 9 for my taste, but I just put her in the unobtainable compartment in my brain since she wasn't available. I did not give her any additional thought beyond being cordial. I didn't really care to get to know her, and I didn't think about what it would be like to date her. Though if she had been single, I would have gone after it. All right, so far, according to you, you've been a good guy. Fast forward to the recent past. My buddy's wife and I got to know each other on a bit more of a personal level on my birthday a few months ago. My girlfriend was there too, and it seemed like my bud's wife took an interest in getting to know my girlfriend as well. Since then, the 4 of us have hung out a few times, and the wife has gotten to know me a lot better. I've also been hitting the gym, which has gotten the attention of my buddy's wife. Ah, Jesus Christ. All right, they've been married 2 years. You're 20, in your late 20s. So she's looking to pull the ripcord. Where the fuck was I? Okay, so one weekend, a group of people, including myself and my buddy's wife, go to a club. My girlfriend was invited, but decided to go to sleep instead. Obviously, alcohol was flowing, and there isn't much room on a dance floor. I'll spare you the details. Dude, what do you mean spare me the details? It was just getting good. Fuck. What the fuck? This is like a Cinemax movie. I'll spare you the details and suffice to say that I learned that night that she was into me. When what? She was doing the Running Man on your dick? I mean, I don't know what. Okay, I was pretty overwhelmed and thrilled because I thought she was a bit out of my league. I'm also not the happiest in my relationship, what makes it harder for me to sort out my feelings on the matter. This girl excels in the areas that my girlfriend doesn't. I certainly am very attracted to her and enjoy this type of attention. I didn't know if she was unhappy in a relationship or what. I've tried to see what this girl wants or if there's a problem with her marriage, but she has had a lot of dodgy answers like, I wasn't looking for anything, or this isn't supposed to go anywhere, or I'm perfectly happy in my relationship, etc. She also has a hard time committing to any boundaries. Oh, fuck this chick. Fuck this chick. Or maybe she just got drunk and said something stupid. It all sounds like bullshit to me. I think she is lacking affection from my buddy, and she's bored and horny. She also sounds like she just doesn't want to admit that there's a problem. She's trying to have the security of a marriage and the thrill of a new romance. We haven't kissed or anything yet. Big word, yet. But I feel like we've already desecrated both of our relationships. I also feel like any increased fun talk about and the tension will eventually reach the inevitable breaking point. Yeah, you got to stay away from her. What should I do? My girlfriend will lose her shit if she hears about this. My buddy will be really unhappy. I think you flip those. I think your girlfriend will be unhappy. Your buddy will lose his shit. Anyways, and I already feel like I couldn't trust this girl if we did get together. However, I don't really care. I just love to hook up with her. It's honest. I can tell this girl has something wacky going on, but I don't have the strength to reject her advances. What should I do? Thank you so much and go fuck yourself. Stop going out to the club with them. Or fucking rub one out before you go out, or don't drink when you go out there. Yeah, that's going to blow up. That is going to fucking blow up in your face. But who's kidding who, man? That type of shit happens all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Married women will come up to another guy and say that they're attracted to him. I mean, there's all this shit out there now about guys' behavior and that type of shit. Women do it all the fucking time. And they say they're better at it. I don't think they necessarily are. I think what the thing is that just women are into vengeance. So, if you get like something like that going, and if they don't get a fucking check for $1 million in a house, they're going to try to do something to blow up your life. That's what they do. Guys, we walk away. Fuck you, bitch. And we generally speaking, we walk away. They don't. They burn down your fucking life. Dude, first of all, break up with the fucking chick you're with now and go find somebody else to fuck around with. All right. You don't need to be fucking around with your buddy's unhappy wife. Cause you're never going to be able to trust her. All right. You're just not. And then you're going to lose your friendship of 12 years with this other guy. All right. This is basically, like your dick's in Congress right now, like filibustering, Your dick has the floor right now. That's what the problem is. If you just sit down, okay, and you listed all the pros and cons of doing this, if you were where I was at right now, sitting there, the answer is easy. Don't do that. Don't do that. But when you're in it and your dick is there, all fucking logic goes out the fucking window. So, I don't know. I just, I would just fucking, she said there's nothing else to it. I would leave it at that. And if she brings it up again, I would just say, look, you said there was nothing to it. okay? So I don't want to hear any more of that kind of talk. You can't hang out with her anymore. You can't. You cannot fucking hang out with her unless that dude is there. And if this guy's really your fucking friend, by the way, wait a minute. If this guy's really your friend, you know, you wouldn't be thinking about doing that. And B, oh man, I don't know if you tell him. I don't know if you should tell. I wouldn't tell him. It's a fucking mess. You know, a woman would. Women would. Women would initiate the conversation and then turn around and fucking, yeah, don't tell him. Don't tell him. That's a stupid fucking idea because then she'll flip the fucking story, start crying, he'll feel bad, and he's going to choose her over you. Dude, you got a situation. There's just so many fucking ways that this can go, and none of it's good unless you just walk away. Walk away. Go back to the room. Go back to the room. Fuck it. It's that moment in fucking when you're playing cards where you just got to admit you're not going to win tonight. Just fucking cash out and go back to the fucking room. That's what you should do. Jerk off to her as much as you fucking want till you get it out of your system. Go find somebody else that you like that makes you not think about your buddy's wife. How about that? There we go. But I'm sure she just wants to feel free. All right. I know I was a little bit of an asshole, but what are you going to do? All right, folks, you know what was awesome? Last night I stayed in with my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous wife, and we hung in, and I started to watch Peaky Blinders. I don't know nothing about no robbery, right? And she's like, I don't want to watch this. All right, Bill, you're white enough. I have a difficult time enough understanding you. Forget about these fucking people, right? So I was like, okay, fair enough. So then we were scrolling through, and I looked for The Nice Guys. Once again, Netflix, can you make my year and get The Nice Guys? Starring Russell Crowe and, Jesus, how could I forget this guy's name? The guy from Drive. The guy from La La Land. I'll remember it later. I always... The fuck is his name? He's fucking hilarious in that movie, too. You know, fuck this. Hang on a second. I'm going to hit pause. I got to get this guy's name. Sorry, Ryan Gosling. They're fucking hilarious in that movie. Ryan Gosling's hilarious. Russell Crowe is hilarious. It's such an underrated comedy, and it reminds me of one of my favorite comedies of all time, Midnight Run. As far as I feel like the comedy, so much of it, their reactions and the way they're doing things, it comes from a real place. I don't mind wacky. I don't mind absurd or any of that bullshit, but I fucking love that movie. And so I looked it up, and for whatever reason, Netflix has every fucking movie just about on their streaming service. The biggest streaming service in the world, right? But they don't have that one. So I'm like, fuck. And then we scrolled down, and then they had Thelma and Louise. And I was just like, man, I have literally not seen that movie since I saw it when it came out in the movies. And, is that a great fucking movie? Fucking great goddamn movie. And it still holds up. And now with all this Me Too shit, you watch it now, and it's more relevant than ever. And every guy in there is just this piece of shit hitting on him. Like the guy who plays Gina Davis's husband, Christopher McDonald. He fucking steals every scene that he's in. Like you gotta watch it again. When they tell him that his wife might be involved in a murder, he just goes, "What? Wait. What?" Just the way he does. I'm butchering it. He's fucking hilarious in that movie. And we watched it. In the end, I don't want to ruin the ending for people who haven't seen it, but anything that is a little nod to Vanishing Point, you got to love that. Have you ever seen Vanishing Point? That's one of the first anti-hero. It was during that, not the first, but during that era of the anti-hero. Like up until then, I guess, with movies and shit, it was always the guy with the white hat, and who's kidding who, the white skin, was always like the fucking hero. He was always trying to do the right thing. He didn't rob, he didn't steal, and he was a fucking hero. And if you stole and you were a piece of shit, you wore the black hat. You were the bad guy. You know what I mean?
I would say that they put minorities in those roles, but way back then, I don't even think they did that. They just had they even had white people playing like Native Americans and Asians, even Asians. I remember that when I posted that thing from fucking Hawaii 5-0. And they had that fucking white dude, and they did something to his eyes to try to make him, he just looked weird. Which was really strange because they had all those, I don't know if they were Asian, Hawaiian, what the fuck they were, but I mean, they had plenty of people who weren't white on that show. I don't know. Didn't make any sense. But anyways, you got to love Jack Lord's Mercury Marquis. I like the first one that he had. The 67 that he had, or the 66. That was a mean fucking looking car. Anyways, but we sat and we watched that movie, and it just still holds up. It still fucking holds up. This is the time when usually I would start doing some reads, but I don't fucking have any. Thelma and my reads? Oh, Jesus, Bill. Why would you make such a bad fucking joke?
Hey, Billy Backblast. I'm a 22-year-old guy living in the UK. I've never been to the States, and I've always wanted to move there. Well, why don't you just visit first and see if you like it? He goes, I met a 26-year-old lady on Xbox. I know, Xbox. Hear me out. So I randomly joined a group of Americans playing Red Dead Redemption Part 2. Duzium. And she joined just after. We click pretty much instantly. We can laugh about pretty much anything, and we have tons in common. We both love working out, the same TV shows and movies, etc. From the first day, we started messaging each other through Xbox a lot. We message on there every day for a month and then started talking on Facebook. We've grown really close, and there's definitely interest from both sides. We talk every day, messages and phone calls. Oh, you're on the phone calls. I'm head over heels for this chick, and the distance is obviously an issue. I want to tell her exactly how I feel, but I'm worried because it's going to take at least a year or maybe two to be in a position to move. I know it's dumb, Bill, but help a British brother out. A British cunt. She's one of a kind, and no one I've ever met is even half the person she is. Well, why are you telling me this? You should tell it to her. I'm visiting her home state in November. There you go. And she's made comments about how I should come and walk her dog while she works and help around the apartment. How do I approach the situations? I'll tell you how you do it. You keep being cool. You keep talking to her. Don't fucking spill your guts about being in love with her or whatever you think it is until you meet her and you really see that this is true. Who knows? She might have a goofy walk and it might fuck with your emotions. And then all of a sudden you said you love her, then you got to fucking break up with her. You know, take a long flight home. I would play, whatever you're doing, I would keep doing. He said, how do I approach this situation? I've already been holding it back for months and life is short. What the fuck do I do? P.S. I love F is for Family and all your shows. I hope to come to one of your shows sometime. Thanks and go fuck yourself. I don't know. Usually I'm one to just tell her what you're thinking, but there's a little bit of distance here. I don't know. I whatever you're doing seems to be working. I would just keep doing that and, throw some stuff out there. Just say, I really look forward to talking to you every day. And then she'll be, I really look forward to talking to you too. And you got to read that. Was she just being nice? Is we playing the repeat game? I think about you a lot. Oh, I think about you too. It's like, okay, can you come up with some original nice shit to say to me instead of are you just like being pleasant? I don't know. I got to be honest with you, man. I've been out of the game a long time. All right? I got ice on both knees here. You're talking to a really old guy here. So I would just say keep doing what you're doing. And I wouldn't, because there's distance there. It could get a little weird if you push it too hard. It seems like she wants to get to know you better with, walking the dog and you're coming to see her. She obviously likes you. If she just liked you, she doesn't want you to go walk her dog. You know what I mean? So I think the signals are there. But because of the distance, I don't know. I think you just keep just be fucking cool. Make her laugh. Keep staying in touch. Tell her that you're excited to see her. I would let the big emotions happen face to face. You know what I mean? And, if you end up kissing her or whatever, then I think that's a time to go a little bigger and tell her what you're telling me. I think it's a little weird via text or via headset while playing Red Dead Redemption 2 going, I think I might be falling in love with you. Oh, watch out for that cunt behind the door! I wouldn't be doing it while you're playing a video game. Other than that, I don't know how love works in 2022. All right? But I'm rooting for you. Okay? Both in the video game and in life. I am a hideous human being. Dear Bill, I'll be straight to the point. I am 25 years old, and I have been a closet homosexual for as long as I can remember. Well, dude, you're gay, so you were gay the second you were born. That's like me being, I'm a straight as long as I can remember. I guess you've been in the closet, is what you're trying to say. I don't know, you confuse me. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is another example of me being dumb. Maybe I read the sentence wrong. Who knows? Who cares? Let's continue. Sentence number 3. I come from a strict Asian immigrant family, and my parents would commit suicide if they found out about my orientation. I got scared when I saw the first... orientation? If you take off the shun and put the L there, that was the word that I thought Oriental was coming on, and I was going to get in trouble here. Therefore, I've been committing petty crimes for the past few years to get into jail so I could pursue and nurture my homosexuality. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm calling bullshit. I'll answer this, but I'm calling bullshit on this one. But there is something, I got to tell you though, this is a very unique lie. So this could actually be true. You know what? I'm going to go with this like it's true, just in case it is true, and I don't want to be yet another person turning my back on this person. All right, so here we go. Recently, I was locked up after I took 3 tabs of acid, and I don't really remember how I got into the can when I became sober. During my trip, I saw 1,000 dog bites. Oh, when you were tripping, you saw 1,000 dog bites at me from every direction, and it was the worst drug experience of my life. That's why I wasn't surprised when I woke up in jail. Anyway, I was quite relieved to be away from society until 8 hours later I was released by my parents. The cops called them while I was tripping in jail. My question is, if it's better to be in jail happy and away from society, or an unhappy individual that satisfies his parents and social if it's better. Dude, what are you doing? If this is actually true, come on, man. You got to be who you are, all right? And I think every day, I don't know where you live in the world, but every single day, I just feel like the scales are tipping in the more enlightened, favorable direction. And you know what? You can become a part of that tipping of the scale. Seeing that kid who's going into the NFL, when he talked about, when I read that story, how when he finally came out to his teammates and he felt like a cinder block came off his chest. I know the feeling of carrying something around. I don't know to that fucking level. So I don't think you're going to regret it. All right? Your parents aren't going to fucking kill themselves. It might take them a while to come around. All right? But if they don't, you know what? Fuck them. Okay? I think they will, because at the end of the day, you're their kid. All right? But what the fuck do I know? But at the end of the day, every kid at the end of the day has to make a break with their parents on some level where your philosophies do not line up with theirs. And if you're truly going to pursue what's going to make you happy in life, there has to be the cutting, the metaphorical cutting of the umbilical cord. And you have to be like, you know what? Fuck them. I know when I was a little kid, to me they were gods and I wanted their approval. And at the end of the day, I now realize that they're human beings and they have their flaws. And what they want me to do does not fit in with what I want to do. And if you're not hurting anybody, which you're not, dude, what do you think? You think you're going to go to jail and find love? I mean, you're not exactly going with some healthy fucking people. That would be like if a woman wanted to find a good boyfriend and she fucking went to a place where guys were locked up for abusing women. You know what I mean? Those are some, yeah. You can find a better boyfriend than that. Just go to a gay bar, I would say, or whatever. I don't pretend to know what the fuck. That's bad. That's like me saying to a woman, hey, you want to meet a good guy? Go to a bar. Whatever. We've reached the end of my intelligence on this topic. We probably did about 5 minutes ago, but I'm too dumb to realize it. But dude, if this is real, I'm treating it real. Although it's so fucking crazy, I don't know. Don't do that, all right? If this is actually true, I'm choosing to believe it. Don't fucking do that, all right? For the love of God. Just sit him down. I don't know how you would do it. You just got to sit him down and just say it. Just get it out there. And then you said it, and then it's out there. And, I don't know what to do after that. You know what? Why don't you go meet a gay guy? I'm sure he can fucking give you some advice. Why are you asking me? Why am I yelling at you? I got frustrated because I don't have the answers. I feel bad for you if it's true. All right? I hope it works out. Don't fucking go to jail. All right? Being gay's great. You're fucking in great shape. You got all this disposable income. And wherever you're living, you're making the fucking property value go up. It's a lot of advantages. All right, medical talk. Dear Bill, burgeoning vocabulary Burr. I know that's said with a bunch of sarcasm. Oh, man, I learned a new French word. What was it? Renseignement. Excusez-moi. Je voudrais un petit renseignement, monsieur. Piece of information. Is what I'm trying to say. I usually let your discussions of medicine fall by the wayside. Well, you know what? I would say that's a very good instinct if you do that, because they're rarely specific. Well, yeah, I don't have a medical degree. But your fan mail today was too much for me to be able to ignore. Oh, wait a minute. Are you suggesting that my ignorance, it's so ignorant that you're not, but it's not specific, so you don't feel it's doing any harm, but evidently, it's like some unathletic person. I took enough half-court shots and one went in, and then somebody responded, and you realized that there was a leak in the dam, and now you're gonna, with your bigger brain, you're gonna seal it. I hope. Anyway, for context, I'm a general surgery resident at a large academic institution in the Midwest. Wow, a lot of big words in that sentence. All right, so you're a surgery apprentice in a big hospital in Nebraska. Why couldn't you just say that? First, you're a backup quarterback in a hospital in Nebraska. You can't say that. You got to say, I'm a general surgery resident at a large academic institution in the Midwest. Okay, first, there's definitely a lot doctors can do for obese patients. Although there is medication. Oh, Jesus, someone just wrote about injections. And this may help some patients. What we are finding is the neuroformal changes that occur in obesity are overwhelming in many ways, which explains the trouble people have losing weight on their own. Second, you mentioned lap band surgery. Most major centers that treat obesity and offer weight loss surgeries don't perform this procedure anymore because the bands cause trouble, like eroding into the stomach. Bum, bam. And he writes, gross. Oh, gross! Like I say it. I was supposed to do the Bill Burr read. Like eroding into the stomach. Gross! Sorry, sir. We now do various other procedures. Sleeve gastrectomy, Roux-en-Y bypass. Is that some French procedure? ROUX-EN-Y. Duodenal switch, to name a few, that alter the hormonal system in addition to offering a restrictive component, which means you make the stomach smaller so that you feel full sooner. In regards to cancer detection, what was written from another listener isn't wrong, but is horrifyingly incomplete. All right, this had to do with sugars. And I don't remember what I read. I'm going to go Reagan here and say I don't recall. First off, what is being described is called a PET, P-E-T, position emission tomography, CT scan. It had something to do with them shooting sugar into your body, and the sugar goes to the cancer, meaning you should stay away from sugar because sugar causes cancer. That was the lunch pail Louie sort of response that that I had on this fucking from a listener who also wasn't a doctor or a resident at a academic institution in a Midwestern location, which can be used to identify certain types of cancer. It's true that a radio labeled tracer is tagged to a sugar moiety, which is taken up by cancer cells. However, the truth is that every cell in your body uses sugar as its fuel. All food you eat is ultimately processed down to sugar. In fact, when looking at these scans, there is an orange haze produced as a result. What happens in cancer is that the cells are rapidly growing and thus need more fuel, so they take up tons of this sugar and thus look very bright on the scan. But most cancers aren't detected this way. Breast cancer is identified on ultrasound or X-ray, mammography. Colon cancer is identified with the colonoscopy. Hey, I've been there twice. Nothing identified, but they definitely looked around. I hope you've at least one given. I can see your scrotum peeking out from your pant leg. You get the point. Yeah, I think you're trying to say I'm old. Yes, I've had two. Is my voice? I've had two. Anyway, parentheses S. Anyway, your comedy is excellent, and the podcast get me through so many chores around the house without wanting to die inside. I love that you're constantly working on yourself and your anger, and I am working on mine too for our first child, a girl. Oh, congratulations! Who will be here before I know it. Deep dish sucks, and go fuck yourself. Dude, you're having a girl. That's going to be the greatest thing for you and your anger. Because now, you probably, I think if you're an angry person, you were treated like shit growing up, so you have some sort of self-loathing. So even if you want to do it for yourself, your self-loathing kind of gets in the way of it. When you have a daughter, forget about it. It's over. Now you have something undeniable that you have to do it for. That's why I was asking my daughter those questions. Are you happy when I come home and everything? By the way, she gave me a huge hug after she said yes. And you know what's cool now? She's now at an age I don't read her books anymore because she can read now. She said last night? She said, "Dad, I want you to put me to bed," and then she said something like, "Lie down and talk to me and ask me the questions you do." So what I do is at night I just lay down next to her. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. Her bed is comfortable, so I just lay down. And I feel like that's a good time to check in on her, see how she's doing, see how it's going at school, and that type of stuff. And I'm telling you, the ride that you're signing up for is going to be great. And as much as what you're doing with your career is fantastic, you make sure you have enough time for your kids, because that's what it's all about.
Money advice. Bill, I'm an OTR truck driver. What the fuck is that? Off track betting? What is that? OT? I don't know what that is. All right, I'll take your word for it. I'm an OTR truck driver and have a problem with blowing fucking money like a politician. I have a wonderful fiance with a great head on her shoulders, and she is great with money. Every time I see the bank statements, the balance is more and more, so I know she's doing a bang-up job with our finances. Well, let me tell you something, sir. You are one perceptive son of a bitch. Keep seeing the number bigger, and I know that must be a good thing. So what's the fucking problem, you say? Well, like I said, I'm terrible with money. So I got one of them prepaid debit cards. He literally wrote one of them. I like this guy. He talks like Elvis. And every Tuesday, payday, my girl puts $50 on there so I can get groceries. That way I don't turn into one of these fat shits that eats every meal out of the Wendy's. Out of the Wendy's. Oh, God, this guy's great. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gonna do what they say can't be done. We're gonna get some hookers at the next truck stop. We ain't gonna wear condoms and shoot some drugs. And we'll all get fucking AIDS and pass it all around. Well, $50 is good for 1 week of groceries, but it's like pulling fucking teeth for extra money. Like, say, for drinks or some rubbers. No, like for drinks or some extracurriculars. Am I an asshole for thinking I deserve a few extra bucks, or what the fuck, Bill? By the way, Nia has a sexy fucking voice, and go fuck yourself. Are you an asshole for thinking you deserve a few extra bucks? Absolutely. The fact that that poor woman is legally bound to you and you have no concept of how to hold on to money. That would be like, I mean, you're a guy. Like, you're supposed to fucking earn a living to support a family, right? If you have no concept of that, that would be like if she had no concept of like how to have a baby or how to blow somebody. You know what I mean? Because that's what their job is, sucking dick and making babies. Such an idiot. Oh, God. Imagine if I had the balls to run for president after doing this podcast for 5 years. How easy would it be to take me down? Dude, why don't you learn about money? Do you really just want to float around like with your fucking eyes wide open, just not getting it? Don't you want to understand money? She's giving you $50 a week. You know why? Because you're too fucking stupid to get 60. And I'm sure you can crawl under a truck and modify it. I'm not saying you're straight across the board dumb, but not to understand money. I swear to God, dude, is one of the dumbest things you honestly, and this is for everybody, it's one of the dumbest things you could ever do in life. I understand not understanding money up to about 18, 19, but once you're to the point where you can go to a library, where you can go on the internet and you can just read up on it. Okay? If you don't understand money, you're going to be behind the eight ball for your entire fucking life, and you're basically going to be an indentured servant to credit card companies and banks, and your life is going to suck way more than it needs to. Okay? I'm not saying that just because you understand money, one of your kidneys isn't going to shit the bed. Bad shit's already going to happen. You don't need to compound it with not understanding money. All right? This woman is the best thing that ever fucking happened to you. You don't understand money, and you want money for drinks and some extracurriculars. What does that mean, an 8-ball? If you start with drinks, and then you say, I like how, say for drinks or some extracurriculars, like boozing to you isn't even an extracurricular activity. That's just, that's like nourishment for you. So I'm assuming that extracurriculars is at least a bag of weed or maybe some condoms to bang some truck stop whore. You know? Listen, sir, you got a great fucking woman, but she's only going to put up with you not understanding money for so long. Because at some point, she's going to want a goddamn man. Okay? Especially once you have a couple of kids. She doesn't need you being some adult kid. So I would say read up on money, and you'd understand what a favor she's doing for you. If your bank balance is going up, you're doing better than 90% of the people out there. All right? So here's a good thing. You got a fucking angel, and she's smart. And just read up on money. All right? She's also keeping you in shape. Go buy groceries. Don't become a tub of shit. You know? She's basically, without you even realizing it or possibly even her, she's laying down the gauntlet here. She's basically saying in her own cute way, I don't want to be married to some fat, broke trucker. All right? So read up on money. Keep eating your fucking pears and fruit out there, and you'll be fine. All right. Should I kick my girlfriend's dad's ass? Hey, Bill. I remember giving advice to a guy about whether or not he should kick his neighbor's ass. Well, I'm in a similar situation, only it involves my girlfriend's father. I'm 22 years old, and I am a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army, and I live in Colorado. Oh, Jesus. Are you up there in Greeley? At Fort whatever? With the bad smell day? Huh? Could you stop slaughtering cows? We can't breathe. Or they steer. I don't know. I've been with my girl for a little under a year now, and her father has not been a problem up until now. Her parents are extremely religious. Oh, don't play this podcast, especially that last part. And they are always trying to get me and my girl to go to Mass with them. When I first met her dad, he seemed like a good shit. A good shit. This guy's East Coast. He seemed like a good shit kid. We are both gun nuts, so the entire time I was around him, we talked about guns, no conflicts at all. The second time I saw him, I was in my uniform, and while we were talking about
whatever inane shit we were talking about, he slipped into the conversation. Just because you're in the Army, just because you are in the Army does not scare me at all. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is weird. Just because you're in the Army, that doesn't scare me at all. I raised an eyebrow at this, but I let it slide. I hope you filed that in the back of your head. That's a weird one. This was about 8 months ago. Fast forward to about 2 days ago. I'm currently moving out of the military housing in Fort Carson here in Colorado Springs, and I'm fixing to move up to Denver. The people I'm buying the house from were still moving out, so I had to stay at a friend's house, and my girl was staying at her parents' house. One night, we went out to dinner, and we stayed out till around 11 and made out after we ate. Okay, people, this is what I'm talking about, where I don't need every fucking detail. Let's just get to the point here. I made no effort to fuck this girl because I know her parents will start foaming at the mouth if I do, but looks like I don't have to. She fell asleep in my car on the way back, so I had to carry her. I was doing so well reading, wasn't I? She fell asleep in the car on the way back, so I had to carry her to her inside. Okay, inside the house, is that what you're trying to say? When her mom opened the door, she looked extremely nervous, and my girl's dad was sitting in a chair just staring at me as I walked in and took the girl to the guest room. Dude, why didn't you just fucking wake her up? When I went back downstairs, her dad was waiting for me at the door. Before I could leave, he put his hand in front of me and said, "I want a word with you outside." This is never good. Whenever says, "I want a word with you outside." When we both went outside, he outright asked me, "Did you fuck my daughter?" I told him no, but he replied, "You're a goddamn liar. No one stays out that long without fucking." Oh, my God. Was he wearing a wife beater with his old man chest sagging a little bit? I reassured him I did not fuck his daughter, and before I left, he looked at me in the eyes with his nose about touching mine and said, "If I find out you ever have sex with my daughter, you don't even want to know what's going to happen to you." I blankly stared at him for about 10 seconds and walked away to my truck and drove away. I'm now living in Denver with my girl, and I'm getting calls every day from her dad asking what we're doing and what our plans for the day are. Yesterday, he called up and asked the same old stupid-ass question, and my girl told him we were planning to go out and see a movie. Yesterday, he came over to my house without his wife. Since I answered the door, he told me to step outside, and he asked me once again if I fucked his daughter. An almost identical conversation ensued, but this time I noticed he had a sidearm on him. Dude, this is okay. This is going beyond my abilities here, buddy. When he's wearing a jacket with the shoulder holster, but he's so fucking fat that a pistol insanely contrasts with his round yoga ball body form. He once again said, he told me that I don't want to even know what will happen if I fuck his daughter. Bill, I need your advice. What should I do about this prick? I'm pretty sure that this guy has no idea that I went to Ranger School and that I have been trained to shove a knife in another man's neck with not a... All right, dude. What the fuck? This is what you need. I don't know what you need to do, dude. This is beyond me. Okay? This sounds like the beginning of one of those murders. These murder things. I think I don't know what the fuck to do here. Don't listen to my advice here because I'm going to end up getting sued. This one's too deep. You don't need to kick this guy's ass. You don't need to do anything like that. I think you almost need to go to the cops. Does this guy have a license to carry? Why the fuck is he sitting there with a pistol and he keeps having this open-ended thing? Dude, this guy's fucking nuts, man. This guy sounds like he's crazy, and I don't know. This is easy for me to say because I don't have any feelings in this thing. I would fucking say, you know what? You need to go back and move back home with your parents, and you need to live with them. And when your dad can accept the fact that you're an adult and you're going to do what you want to do, give me a call. But until then, I don't need some guy coming up to me making veiled threats with the fucking sidearm. All right? I'm not looking to get shot in the fucking head. And that's the thing, dude. I know you're a ranger and that type of thing, but the thing about a gun is that makes everybody tough. Okay? You can fucking kill Bruce Lee with a gun. So, you definitely do not want to go Steven Seagal on this shit. Like, I don't know. This sounds to me like I would get out of that relationship. Tell her to go home and just say, listen, your dad is not ready for you to be in an adult relationship, and I'm not ready to die or get shot at or whatever the fuck it is he has planned. I am going to stay here and, enjoy my life without fat men coming up to me asking me what the fuck I'm doing with the women in my life. Good luck and God bless, and it's on to Chicago. Let's win there. That's what the fuck I would do. But like I said, I don't listen to me on that one. That is beyond. Yeah, dude, that's whole other level shit here. Yeah, guys, don't send me in shit like that. That's creepy, man. That's all right. Okay. All right, boyfriend hates my armpit hair. Well, yeah. All right, hi, Bill. Would you like it if he started to have tits? I mean, that's just how it is in the West. You're not supposed to have having armpit hair was something that is just it's not mainstream. You're going a little punk rock here. I remember when they did the German version of 99 Luftballons, and when she put her hands, and she put her arms up, we all went, ah! All right. Hi, Bill. Love your podcast. My boyfriend and I listen to it together, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled if this makes it on, despite the topic. He doesn't like that I don't shave my armpit hair constantly comments on it. To clear a couple things up, I'm not doing it because I identify as a hippie or I'm taking a counterculture stance. I just never liked shaving in general. Oh, so you're like a bum. At least if you were attached to some ideology, I would get it. How come guys don't have to do it, but we have to? I get that. How would you like if you just sat around fucking all unshaven, looking like fucking Bluto on Popeye? Listen, this is what I think, all right? I think if, the person you're banging is turned off by something, you should make a fucking effort. All right, obviously, if they go, your tit's too small, you tell them to go fuck themselves, okay? You need a nose job, tell them to go fuck themselves. But, if I was doing something or, whatever the fuck I was doing, the person I was with saying, hey, that kind of turns me off, I'd be like, I got it. Shaving my armpit hair, whatever the fuck I got to do. Anyway, he says it's weird and he notices it often when I wear a sleeveless shirt and we're around people. Yeah, you're wearing a sleeveless shirt. You're being a douche. You know he doesn't like it, and then you're flaunting it. You're fucking you're like fucking making him look like a jerk. I don't see why it matters. Most guys have hair there. Why can't I? You passive-aggressive little so-and-so. There's your ideology right there. Just come out and say it. I have good hygiene. I don't smell. Well, listen, first of all, you're saying all of this. All right? Good hygiene and you don't smell, you don't make that decision. The people around you tell you that. How the fuck would you know if you don't smell? You're in the eye of the fucking hurricane. Anyways, and it doesn't affect anyone other than their supposedly emotional reactions. Doesn't affect anyone other than their supposedly emotional reactions to body hair. To me, it seems to bother him because it goes against what he saw growing up, since most women in the U.S. chose to shave. Listen, you are 100% doing the feminist thing here. Most guys have hair there. Why can't I? And you're just reacting this way because Western society has told you this. So don't say that you're doing this for feminist fucking reasons. I'm not saying you're a hardcore feminist. I'm not saying you're a douche. I'm not saying you're wrong. But you are doing this for a fucking reason. My question is why do most men find this to be weird or even repulsive? Thanks for reading. If you read it, that's it. Go fuck yourself. I would say the same reason why most women find man tits repulsive. It's like, why can't I have tits? You have tits. There's just certain things that are, this is what I'll try to do this as nicely as possible. The error in progressive thought is they have this thing is like, what is normal? There is no normal. It's like, yeah, there is a normal.
And all of these super progressive people also have a normal. Or else you would walk around and you would never be uncomfortable. If I walk down my driveway and I see a fucking bear in my driveway, that's not normal. But I could argue it is normal. I'm outside. Bears live outside. I'm not used to seeing a bear in my fucking driveway. Now, if I get uncomfortable, does that mean I fucking hate bears? Sweetheart, you got a fucking goddamn den of bears under your fucking armpits, and you're freaking them out. Listen, it's all how you grew up, okay? If you grew up and women had hair under their arms, no, it wouldn't bug you. But we didn't, so it becomes weird. There's societies and there's like things where guys walk down the street holding their hands. We don't do that here. I could never do that with another one of my guy friends. I didn't know I don't even know what would happen to our friendship. We can never talk to each other again. All right, but here's the deal. As much as you're probably judging me now, if it was reversed and it was another country of doing it, progressive people would be like, well, you have to respect their culture. So here's the thing. You can have hair under your fucking arms. You have every right to have hair under your arms, and he has every right to be fucking grossed out by it. And I think he's being a great fucking guy tolerating it. Yes, tolerating it. He's putting up with this thing. And that's what you do in a relationship. You tolerate, if you really like somebody, is you put up with their bullshit. And your bullshit is, you got Kevin McHale's fucking armpit hair. There's nothing wrong for a guy to be repulsed by armpit hair any more than if a woman is repulsed by something that a guy does. You can't help how you're fucking wired. And this whole fucking thing, they've been doing this thing where like, well, what is beauty? What is, it's like Madison Avenue has been the people telling us what beauty is. Shut the fuck up. You know what a good-looking person looks like, and you know what a fucking fucked-up-looking person looks like. Okay? Because that whole fucking shit that feminists argue about beauty, notice they don't really argue it for men. They only argue it for women. Okay? They want to eat cookies and fucking be on billboards. That's what they want to do. They want to be just in the fucking express lane their whole life and fucking not have to do anything. And then meanwhile, we have to continue to do all of our shit. You know what I mean? I mean, did you ever see I don't know, is there any sort of male movement out there to be like going like, what is with all of these fucking things on TV about, what's wrong with an older man not being able to get his dick hard anymore? I mean, everything on there is you got to have abs, your dick's got to be fucking saluting the flag, and you got to have a fucking lion's mane of hair. Every fucking thing on there has it. Who gives a shit? It is what it is. So here's the deal. Your boyfriend hates your armpit hair. I got to be honest with you. If my wife had a problem with something that I could correct physically without any sort of major surgery, I would do it for her. I wouldn't have a fucking problem with it. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a fucking deal. I don't even think you have to be a jerk about it. I don't think you even have to shave your fucking armpits. You don't have to be. But two things you need to do. You need to own up to the fact that you're doing it for a fucking reason. If you were honest with him then he could have an honest conversation with you, because you're trying to act like I'm just, I'm not being like a hippie or a counterculture person. You are, which is totally fine. I'll be honest with you. I will say this. It's not as gross to me as it used to be. It's a little more mainstream, I would say. But like, I'll tell you something that I never the completely shaved fucking beaver. It's just like, I'm trying to be with a woman here. Fucking that has always fucking creeped me out. Just creeps me out. All right. Fucking creeps me out. So I don't know. And did I ever say, I don't think I ever said anything. I passively aggressive. What do you think? I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty intense. So, like, yeah, I mean, I like being in the crowd. I don't need to be that far backstage. All right, underrated. Small town stories. Hey, Billy Crimson Crotch. I like that one. Roll Tide. Have you seen the new documentary movie Tread yet on Netflix? It's awesome. It's about an old school welder that lives in a small town in Colorado called Granby in the 1990s and early 2000s. He opened a welding shop in town and pretty much welded everything for everybody. Anyway, I'm definitely going to watch this because I'm fascinated with welding. He got caught up in some drama with the old boys club of small town politics, and his neighbor and town board turned against him, stating and started fucking with his shop and way of life. I don't know. You're going to ruin it here. I'm not going to read anything else. I'm going to read this shit. Tread, Tread, on Netflix. I believe I will be watching that tonight. I mean, how do you not watch a documentary on welding? How do you not? Well, easily. You get involved in all these playoffs. Well, guess what I have time for? I have time right now to watch the end of the St. Louis Blues game, and then I'm going to watch the fucking I'm going to watch the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have to root for them, but I also love the Columbus Blue Jackets. I really like both of those teams, but, you know, Toronto has been waiting forever, so I don't know. We shall see what happens. Anyway, that is the podcast, everybody. You and your armpit hair or your lack of armpit hair, have a great fucking time. What a fucking... I hate passive-aggressive shit, okay? What? I'm not doing it because of this. And then you say why you're doing it, and then you're wearing tank tops out in front of his friends, okay? You know what you're doing. You're putting your statement out there, and then you're trying to get, well, what if I don't shave my armpits? Would you have a problem with that? You're just starting shit. You know what you're doing, all right? You're just not as good at it as you think you are. Having said that, you know, I would not kick any woman out of bed that had armpit hair. I would not do that if they were fucking nice enough to want to fuck me. There, I said it. Okay, there you go. God bless everybody. Go fuck yourselves, and I'll check in on you on Thursday.
Shitty neighbors. Shitty neighbors. Oh, jeez. Hey, Billy Big Screen. I'm reaching out to you as someone who has a bit of a neighbor problem and have a landlord problem. So a young couple moved into the apartment complex. Let me read that again. I'm reaching out to you as someone who's had a bit of a neighbor problem and a landlord problem. Oh, brother. Your landlord's not helping you with your neighbor, or they're both assholes in their own worlds? Oh, boy. Here we go. So a young couple moved into the apartment complex that my wife and I have lived at for 6 years, and they have a bit of a shitbox car collecting problem. Our lot has enough spots for 2 cars per room, 8 rooms in the complex, so that means there's 16 spots. Don't worry, Bill. I'm coming to you for advice. The least I can do is not make you do math. It's kind of scary how well you guys know me at this point. Anyways, it even says in the lease that you can only have 2, but the property has undergone new management, and the newbies aren't nearly as hands-on with the towing cars for being run-down pieces of shit. They had 3, and one of them was broken down for 3 months before I put a note on there asking if they can move it or fix it, to which they replied by putting 3 sheets of paper with red writing on them on the inside of their windshield. They read, "We live here, the car runs, mind your own business." Yes. The ignorant. Part of being ignorant is you have no empathy, which leads to anywhere from being an asshole to joining a hate group. Now I have walked past this car with these sheets of paper on the windshield for over 2 months, and even asked the maintenance guy to help me out citing the lease. He basically told me that because of the toothless nature of the owners, his hands are tied. Now, as I'm writing to you, I found out this evening that these people went out and got a nice car and parked it in the lot also. I thought of a lot of things, including putting painter's tape on the hood in the shape of a dick with a note on it that says, "Next time it'll be spray paint. Move the fucking car." Oh, God. Oh, God. Now you live in that world? But I just can't do it. Yeah, don't do it. Do I find my zen and just deal with walking past all these fucking cars every morning with my tail between my legs? Or do I confront these people and hope for results?
I'm not a confrontational person. Yeah, that's why you were going to, like, fuck with their car. That's what a non-confrontational person does. Dude, if you're not going to go over there and just beat the shit out of it, which you shouldn't do, because you're either going to lose or you're going to get sued. Or you could lose and get sued. There's no winning. If you're a fully functioning adult, like, and you actually have done something with your life, you like, fighting is not an option past, like, high school. I'm not a confrontational person unless you have to, okay? But due to some events that have happened in my life over the past year, I'm worried that I'll start to see red if they don't agree with my request and say some stuff that I can't take back and will make seeing them in the future a bit awkward. Thanks for the help, Bill, and good job on the movie. I can't wait to see it. The way I see it, you got three options here. You just deal with it, you move, or save up money and buy a house. Those are your options. But if the landlord isn't going to do anything, I can tell you this. When you move out and the next people look at your place and they see 20 junkers or whatever sitting out there, that's going to fuck with their world. I guess you could also lawyer up and deal with that and just say it says here in the lease I have to deal with this. As long as the cars aren't in your way, you know, there's another thing. You could actually talk to him and just say, listen, I'm sorry. I was in a bad mood. I actually like the car. And just talk to him about cars and shit like that. And maybe you can just make friends with the person. But, or you can use it as motivation to get the fuck out of there and get something else going where people like that aren't in your life. But then what happens is you end up buying a house. If you buy a house, what I would suggest is do a number of drive-bys. Like if you look at it during the week or on a weekend, sometimes like they strategically show the house when whatever loud, annoying thing that might be happening isn't happening in like the neighborhood or whatever. And, you know, I mean, I would be as bold. I mean, I wouldn't be as bold. I wish I was, to knock on the door of a neighbor and just be like, hey, how do you like the neighborhood? Is there anybody here that's just is the person on the other side a major pain in the ass? Blah, 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 blah. No. For all you know, you knock on the door, the pain in the ass. Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through that, dude. That's the fucking worst. But I guess there's another thing. If the car runs, you could steal it. But everybody has cameras now. That's another reason. Yeah, don't get involved. Like, revenge is that's one of the darkest of all human emotions. And that's just not, even when somebody deserves it, I just avoid it. I avoid it. I just like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to keep living my life, keep being successful at what I want to do, whatever the fuck that is. And I'll leave it alone. You know, I looked at those goddamn Vistalite drums, and now Ludwig is always popping up. And they really have beautiful drums. And I wish they would stop it, because I'm going to buy a kit if they don't stop. The exact thing that they want. I mean, look at this one. What the fuck is that? They got a green Vista. You can't buy the amber Vistalite. I don't like how the amber one is the only. Every other one has like a 22. The amber one is 26. Where the fuck are the 24s, you cunts? All right. Now, where do we go here? I'm talking about the bass drums, if you're wondering. Shitty neighbor. Hey, Bill. My boys and I are super huge fans. I've been a fan for many years. We enjoy watching your specials and listening to your podcast. I'm a single mom with a son who's 14 and another that is 11. I'm going through this teen segment of parenting all on my own, and I am curious on what advice you may have for my boys. What are some things you think are essential for a boy to grasp at this age? Any wisdom you could share with them would be awesome. We would really appreciate your thoughts. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the laughter you bring. And please tell Nia I love her, and hearing your daughter always makes me smile. All right. Well, you know something? This is something I was talking to somebody the other day about what they should teach people in school. I'm at that age. Oh, by the way, everybody.
It's time for advice.
Hey!
Your host, Billy Burr.
That's me.
And I'm ripping off this melody
From somebody else. All right. This is the advice I would give. All right.
if you have a crush, if they have a crush on a girl, right? Just walk up and say hello. Tell her that you like her and see if she'll go out with you. Simple as that. Get over that fear. All right? Because here's the thing. It's always embarrassing the first time you do it if they're not doing it yet. It's always fucking embarrassing. But once you do it, it's like doing that first open mic. The first time you bomb, you survive it. And then somewhere along the line, you learn to find the humor in bombing. And if you can do that, you'll never be afraid to ask for what you want in life. So right now, the chicks you want to bomb with are the ones when you're 11 and 14, because that's just puppy love. But someday when the girl of your dream comes along, you want to have the confidence to walk up and say hello so you get what you want in life. The most important thing ever. Finding the person you're supposed to spend your life with so you can be happy. All right? Secondly, you got to teach somebody how to break up with somebody. Very simple, but they never teach you. You just tell the person, just say, hey, listen, we need to talk. They sit down, what's up? Just say, listen, I think you're a great person, but, I'm not happy. And as much as I like you and everything, there isn't that thing that's making me feel like this is a lifetime love. I have love for you, but I don't have full lifetime love for you. Something like that. And there's nothing anybody can say to that shit. And then just don't get fucking roped back into it. And then they're going to cry and they're going to go through all of that shit. And there's no reason to be mean or anything like that. And just sit there, hug them, be nice about it. And you can just say, listen, I don't want to waste any more of your time or my time. We should both go out and find the people that we're supposed to be with. And as much as this hurts you right now, someday you're going to find that guy that wants to love you for the rest of your life. Okay? And you'll be very thankful that I set you free to go find him. Something like that. That last line might have been a little corny, but you got to teach them that. All right? Next, teach them about money. All right? They're going to be getting to the point soon where they're going to be going off to college, believe it or not, in the next 5 years for that kid who's 14, and then they're going to give him a fucking credit card, and they're going to get in all of this. And the fucking bankers, what they want to do is get you fucking in so much goddamn debt before you even realize what the fuck happens. You're running on the wheel for the rest of your life, and maybe in your 60s you come out of it. All right? I would show them the Goodfellas scene after they knock off the Lufthansa heist. When Robert De Niro, don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. If I can give you any fucking advice, now that I'm cleaning out my garage and looking at all the fucking shit I saved over the years, don't buy anything. Don't collect anything. Don't get involved in that shit. Live a very sparsely furnished fucking life. Do not give in to fucking consumerism. All right? Live well within your means. Okay? Always have enough money that if you're not liking a job, you have the time to be like, fuck you, I'm out of here, and find something else. If you suddenly get laid off, if there's a fucking pandemic, you can survive. All right? Do not get involved in living week to fucking week. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. And then as far as all the kids that you go to school with, whatever they think about you, none of it matters. Because in the next 5 years, you're going to graduate and you're never going to see 99% of them ever again. Even with fucking social media, you're never going to see them again. So you have to listen to your voice and what the fuck you want to do in life, and you follow that. Okay? And know that when you set off to make a dream happen, that when you tell people that that's what you're doing, the bigger the dream, the more negative feedback you're going to get. And you have to understand, as Tom Papa told me, that whenever he made a big decision in life, he realized that, so much of people's reactions to what he was doing had nothing to do with him. It was them working out their own bullshit. All right? And then just be a good shit. Don't fuck people over. Try not to hurt anybody. You're a human being. You'll make mistakes. You will. Just try to own up to them and try not to repeat your mistakes. And other than that, be forgiving yourself and try not to be a cunt. There you go. All right? Notice, none of that involved your grades or having 2 years of a fucking language and all that other horse shit they try to get you to fucking buy.
My family loves reminding me that I'm broke. Jesus Christ. Dear Billy Basketball Ref, I'm a 25-year-old man in my last year at university. I work full-time, late nights, 6 days a week at a mutual labor job because I can't work a 9-to-5 office job with school. I've been making the shit money at a shit job for my entire adult life because I bought into this idea of grinding hard until I one day graduate and get a cushy job and can finally afford a home and a life. First of all, you're only 25. You're talking like you're fucking 55. My family only checks in on me once in a while to remind me that I'm poor. My sister just texted me to show off her new gold-plated, diamond-encrusted, shiny white Land Rover from the future that she got for her birthday and from her husband because the Audi SUV wasn't enough and it was starting to get old. That was in quotes. I drive a clapped-out Jetta. I don't know what clapped out means, but with this description, that means you're driving a shitbox. With busted headlights and a cracked bumper because I can't afford to fix it. My big birthday gift is 2 tickets I bought myself to go see some stand-up with a friend. My sister didn't even go to college. She just married a guy with money, and I feel like she has no idea how hard I work to just get by on my lower-class lifestyle. As you may know, rent is going crazy lately, and I was priced out of my one-bedroom apartment and forced to move into an old house on the outskirts of town with some work friends. My parents heard about my move, and rather than supporting my hard decision to relocate, all they wanted to tell me was how I chose a bad neighborhood, like I'm in some idiot. Like as if I'm choosing to live in the ghetto and I don't know any better. I lived in this city all through college. I'm keenly aware of what I can't afford and where. I'm not saying my family owes me anything, but shit, is at least a little moral support too much to ask? Sometimes it is. Just because they're your family doesn't mean they're cool. And that's one of the weirdest things when you have to cut out people that are actually in your family. You can't always 100% do it because you are related to them or whatever, but maybe you can just put your sister on mute a little bit. Anyway, maybe don't rub it in when you buy a 6-figure SUV with the seat warmers and dick massagers. I don't know. I know if anyone knows the feeling of being broke, it's a career comedian. So, as to someone who I'm sure has been there before, how do you respond to these family members? You don't. If you truly think that your sister's doing that to rub it in your face, and she's not just clueless or whatever, then, that's just something you have to, deal with. That's a really weird thing when there's a sibling or a parent or something like that that is in your life that, the deal where if you're like, if you weren't related to me, I would have cut you out of my life 20 years ago. That fucking situation. That's a tough thing to be in. Because everyone's like, oh, you got to hang in there because they're going to die someday and you're going to regret it. It's just like, what am I missing out on? What you really regret is that your sister isn't loving and caring or understanding. Or your parents are, but there's nothing you can do about it. Anyways, he says, how do I go home from my job at 2 a.m. and not feel like an absolute loser night after night, knowing no one else in my circle had to do any of this? Quote, act like you've been there before. Thanks for all the awesome free content and all the laughs. Hope you come to my state soon. Love the Red Rock special, by the way. Thank you. I don't know. You know what? I can't tell you. I haven't gone through years like that. Like I remember when I was driving a shitbox and rather than trading it in, I just had a guy put a new engine in the thing. And I just remember the woman that I work with didn't even understand it because they all had car notes and stuff. And I knew I wanted to be a comedian. I had to keep my expenses down. And I told her, she goes, so you're going to get a new car?
I said, you know what? I decided to put a new engine in my truck instead. She just made this face and just goes, that was stupid. And I remember being annoyed, and then after, years later thinking back, going like, it wasn't, because back then, I did this in like the 90s. I mean, and the guy even fucked me over, and it only cost me like a couple of grand, as opposed to buying a new car at the time, which even like a shit one was like 12 grand. So, I mean, it was a way smarter move. And then also what I liked was my truck was starting to rust out, so I had this new engine in it. So I could park it anywhere, and nobody fucking knew that I had this brand new fucking engine in it. So it was sort of a sleeper. So what I would do with your sister, oh, that's awesome. Congratulations on your Land Rover. And just stop expecting her to understand what it is that you're going through, and don't expect your parents. I would just go humor. Like when your parents are like, well, that's a bad neighborhood. And you just be like, yeah, I know. I like living on the edge. That's how I am. I'm a risk taker. And then I would just block them out, and I would just continue doing what it is that you're doing. So I think you do. It sounds like you need some sort of direction, because if your end result is you just want to get a cushy job where you're making money, I'm just speaking myself personally, that if I had a cushy job where I was making a bunch of fucking money that I didn't love, eventually I would be bored shitless. So I would try to find a job that you love where you can make enough money to live your life. And like, look, I would be honest with you. I would just keep doing what you're doing. You don't need people like that in your life, in your day-to-day. They're family, so you have to tolerate them. And I would just concentrate on trying to find a person to share your life with that you truly love, and that isn't like those people. But maybe if you had time, talk to somebody too, so you don't repeat it, and marry somebody like your mom or your sister, if they're the way you're saying it they are. I don't know. It's a lot of shit, buddy. It's a lot of stuff you're going through. I have empathy for you, but you're only 25 years old. I mean, when I was 25, I was still living at home with a fucking rusted out car with a new engine in it. Driving to the second to last exit on the Mass Pike for no money. I don't even think I had those gigs yet. I was doing open mics. I had 5 minutes of material. And I won this comedy competition called the WBCN Comedy Riot. I won the last year that they had it in 1993 at the old Stitches Comedy Club. And that's where I was at. And I still didn't get really any paid work until the next year in 94. And, then, I don't know. I just started making some money in comedy. I was making money at my day job. I could have quit my day job. I didn't. I kept working there, and I would do shows at night. And I just started banking the money and paying off all my credit cards and my fucking student loans. So when I moved down to New York, I had like a nest egg or whatever, and ended up trying to change the fuel filter. And I got impatient, and I snapped it off. And I brought it over to this guy, and I told him what I did, and he wasn't really listening. And I actually had the fuel filter snapped off in the driver's seat, and one of his other mechanics went in to start it up, and gas went over the engine, had a giant fucking electrical fire. And then I remember he fucking yelled at me, and I'm like, dude, I told you what happened. And he's like, I'm so fucking sick of you guys trying to do the job, and you fuck it up, and then you bring it down, admit all this type of shit. And I went down there. I remember he tried to say there was no charge, and I said, no, I'm going to pay for it. And he gave me that sly look, because my dad told me, he said, make sure you pay for it so there's a record that you were down there. He doesn't want you to pay for it. And I never fucking, I never charged him, and I didn't have the money to get the electrical fixed, and I kept fucking driving the car, and one day it burned down. That's basically what happened. And it ended up being a good thing, because like a month later, I moved to New York, and I didn't have to deal with the car. And having a car when you live in New York City is like having a kid that never grows up. And there's people, back then were vandalizing it and all of that shit. So it ended up being like a good thing. But look, yeah, just keep your fucking head up. You're only 25 years old, and all of this struggling that you're doing is going to build character, and you won't have fears in life because you've been where you've been. You know, your sister someday, if the rich guy she's with goes fucking belly up, she's not going to know how to survive. Not that I'm wishing that on her. You know, lately, I've been asking some of the ladies to write in, and finally, I haven't even read this yet, but this already seems like gold. This is the in the subject line of this email. It says, "I think the guy I'm dating is a pussy." Hello, Bill. I am a 21-year-old student. I began listening to your podcast recently, and I heard you complaining about how women have not written in a while. And being a woman myself, decided to do so and ask you for advice. Well, God bless you. I live at home with my mom and go to college. I recently found a very nice guy there at college and was really into him. But then I started suspecting something strange. I started suspecting that maybe he was a pussy. At first, I thought it was pretty harmless. But then one night, we had a house party and everyone was pretty drunk. And a friend of mine, who I haven't seen in a while, was there. And when everyone was way, way, way past drunk, she tried to get into a fight with me and eventually pushed me down the wall, then stole my iPhone, and he was there and did nothing. Jesus Christ. I was so scared that I called my ex to come get me, and he did. Wow. You think you're dating a pussy? I mean, that right there. Gee. And he just stood there and let this other guy who used to hook up with you come in riding in on his white horse? Anyways, my ex was more of a man than the guy I was dating. Now, even though the guy I'm dating was drunk, I felt like he should have protected me or done something, anything. He did nothing. And later he even confessed to me that he was scared of my drunk friend and even scared of me. What the fuck, right? Even though he says this will never happen again, I have enough knowledge to know that people do not usually change like that. You know, that's a really wise... You're really wise for your age. At 21, if you're already not buying into the "I'm going to change," that's you're wise beyond your years. You know, they say that your psychological makeup is done by the time you're 3. So if you see some little toddler standing there while somebody's taking his blocks, that kid's going to be a pussy. Anyway, so should I be upset or give him another chance? Is this a deal breaker? Is there no way to change a guy from a pussy to a real man? Should I just break things off with him? And if so, should I remain friends with him? Thanks, Bill, and I hope you read this. I love you and Nia. Oh, that's nice. All right. This is the deal. You asking a question. Is there no way to change a guy from a pussy to a real man? No, I don't think... I think that happens. I think it happens way more in movies where somebody has a life-changing moment. And then they just decide, I'm not going to take shit anymore. But even then, that just begins the journey of not being a pussy. You don't just say, I'm not going to be a pussy, and then bam, you're not a pussy anymore. You got to work your way up. It's like if you were 100 pounds overweight and you're like, I'm done. I'm not eating fucking ice cream anymore. The next day, you don't have a six-pack. You know, takes a fucking year or something. You really got to turn it around. So, I don't know. What are you looking for in a guy? I mean, I think the fact that you're writing me and you're saying, I think the guy I'm dating is a pussy, I mean, that actually hurts me on some level. Just because I insert myself into this story and the person I'm dating would be calling me a pussy. Or it could be the ex, I guess. I don't know. This isn't about me. This is about you. Come on, Bill. Stop being selfish. All right. I think you've totally lost respect for this guy. And if you don't respect the person you're with, eventually you're going to blow somebody else, you know, if you don't break up with this guy. That's what I'm predicting. If you don't break up with this guy, you're just going to cheat on him just to facilitate getting out of the relationship because, you know, to get to that LL Cool J moment where you can just be fucking honest. But I don't think you like that. There's something about you knowing that people don't change at your age, and the fact that you like, this guy's a pussy. He's not sticking up for me. And the fact that he didn't stick up for you, and then you took charge and say, well, I'm going to fucking call somebody who will. I mean, technically, you should have fucked your ex-boyfriend that night, and he shouldn't have been mad. He should have been like, and he probably wouldn't have been, because he's a pussy. Yeah, I understand. I mean, when you needed a big swinging dick, I mean, God knows it wasn't me. So, yeah. I think if you don't break up with this guy, you're actually fighting nature. All right? And you guys are wired to I know, you guys aren't wired to just have kids with pussies. You know what I mean? You want a strong son, right? You don't want that pussy DNA in your kid, right? Oh, that's going to kill you. Imagine that. You have a kid with this guy, and you want this kid to be like your ex-boyfriend, and it comes out and it's like this fucking little wormy worm guy. It'll be awful. Walking down the aisle to marry this guy with that sheepish, I don't deserve you. I can't. You don't want that. You want this guy to be the man, standing down there in a white tuxedo like fucking Roger Moore and James Bond. I think. Look, I don't know if this just happened and you're really upset. So, and in 3 days you're not going to care and you're going to go back to having a picnic with this guy. Because for all I know, your ex who came coming back, maybe you broke up with him because he cheated on you. Maybe he was too much of a guy, if you know what I mean. So then you said, well, all right, this next time I'm dating a nice guy. So now you dated a nice guy. The thing about is sometimes you date a nice guy, they can be so nice that they're pussies. All right? And look, I'm not sitting here acting like, if I'm out with my girl and some fucking 200-pound, 300-pound, jacked fucking 25-year-old comes up and starts doing shit, then I'm going to start swinging, because I'm not. I'm not getting my fucking head kicked in just for the fuck of it. No. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like just, straight across the board as a guy, you have to fucking go and get your goddamn head kicked in. But this was a fucking woman. This was a lady. I mean, Jesus. It is a weird situation in defense of him where, how do you get the fucking iPhone back? You start wrestling with her, and now you're kind of fucking throwing a girl around. So you're looking at that possible assault charge, because God knows that's how the world works right now. Your Honor, I was trying to steal a phone, and this guy assaulted me. And you're going to be sitting there going, she was stealing a phone, and they're not going to be able to get past, you're a guy and she's a girl. But, he should have just held her by the back of her pants so she couldn't leave, and just stayed out of reach of her swinging. That's what you do if you're in that situation as a guy. You just reach down, you grab them by the back of their pants, and you just start running in a circle until cops get there. So they can't swing at you. They're running backwards. I mean, I don't know what you got to fucking do something. And he didn't do anything. That's the big thing. If you told me that this was some giant guy who could kick the shit out of him, I wouldn't say that the guy's a pussy. You know what I mean? I mean, what is the point of going in and getting a concussion, getting your tooth driven up through your fucking nose? The guy's still going to leave with your phone. That's that old Richard Pryor bit. Macho man, I'll take that knife and stick it up your ass. Macho man. It's like, no, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you. But this was a woman. All right, Bill, for the fuck's sakes, quit your goddamn rambling. Wrap it up. I think you know what you want to do and you should do it. You are dating a pussy. The fact that when he was sober, he said that he was scared of her and of you. He seems like he's a little verklempt. And I just can't imagine, this is going to be a stereotype, but a guy like that actually putting it on you in the bedroom. I really don't. He probably stares at you in the eye. Am I hurting you? Is everything okay? God, you're so beautiful. I mean, come on. Right? Flip her over, mush her face in the pillows. She says, in P.S., don't worry. That cunt I used to call a friend who pushed me and took my phone is no longer in my life. Did you get your phone back? Well, what happened with you guys? Now, wait a minute. What? Like, can I hear the follow-up here? There's so many different ways that this could be going. Was that like a girl, like when you thought that maybe you were swinging another way, and all of a sudden you broke up with her, and probably not. It's just my own Red Shoe Diary kind of fucking thing. So anyways. All right, vitamin C and intermittent fasting. Oh, God. Oh, God. Now, I tried intermittent fasting. It didn't work for me. After 6 days, I quit. Vitamin C, I was all about. And then somebody says, you know, the dosages they give over here are way too high and it could fuck up your kidneys. So now this person, you know what I think they're going to do? Because that person who told me wasn't a doctor. And now this person I'm assuming is not a doctor. And then they're going to give me exact opposite information. And I'm not going to know what to do. Dear Bill, the vitamin C article you saw was about people abusing it. It takes a lot to hurt your organs or do permanent damage with vitamin C. That kind of makes sense because wouldn't a bunch of us have kidney problems? Do I need to go into the kidney problem chat room on Reddit to get to the bottom of this? I like when Reddit gets to the bottom of it with a bunch of people who weren't even there discussing what happened. You know, pulling pictures and splicing them together and putting music underneath it. We're talking way more than the recommended amount for days on end. All right, well, there was a period there when I was doing the movie, I was taking those emergencies, and that was like 1,000 milligrams. That couldn't have been good. Also, intermittent fasting is good for certain people in certain scenarios. I'm not a doctor. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I like this person. But how do I know this? Because I read the full articles instead of just the headlines. Oh, you're giving me shit? Glad you didn't, though, because I'd rather you ignorant and funny than reading properly. Thanks and go fuck yourself. No, I read an article about it. I didn't just read the headline, you asshole. I read a different article that says the opposite of what you're saying. And then also, how do you know that the article you read wasn't from the people that sell vitamin C paying these other people to say that this is a good fucking thing to do? All right, before you get on your high horse. I noticed that when I was trying to buy a fucking shop vac. I looked up the top 10 shop vacs. And boy, oh boy, the first thing I clicked on had the top 10 shop vacs. And when you know it, every one I clicked on was sold at Home Depot. You'd almost think they weren't sold anywhere else. It was almost as if somebody who was paid by fucking Home Depot put together a list of all the shop vacs they have at Home Depot. You know? So, you're not a doctor either, all right? So, fucking... my misinformation is just as good as your misinformation. I will not be talked down to as an uninformed person by another uninformed person, okay? I can get my ego just as much as you can. All right. I never made fun of his kid. I never went down, Ray. I never went down. Wife's weird sex store purchase. Oh, geez. Here we go. Wife's weird... Dear Bill, me and my wife have been married for 2 months, and she has been less involved and willing to have sex. All right. Right there. And she got a weird sex store purchase. I don't even need to read the rest of this. Sir, have it annulled. Anyways, he goes, I thought the honeymoon phase was just ending and started to adapt. It's been 2 weeks since we last had sex, and Friday, while taking out the garbage, I found a bag to the local sex shop. Okay. That's it. I don't need to read anymore. Just get it annulled. Go your separate way. I didn't know what she bought, and since we haven't been having sex, it was a puzzler. Okay, that's it. Dude, this whole fucking thing, it's over. I then started snooping. Okay, that's it. While she was at work and found a dildo in the closet. I know women have them, but this one wasn't your usual dildo. Okay, that's it. Wrap, nothing to see here. Dude, this has more red flags than the fucking opening ceremony of China at the Olympics. Okay, it wasn't your usual dildo. Jumping back in. We're losing a lot of tiles. I think we're going to burn up here in fucking re-entry. It was the shape of an animal's penis. All righty. See you later there, lady. It was a fun 2 months.
I'm not even, you can keep everything. I'm just going to take my T-shirts and my shoes and a pair of pants. It was close to a foot long and weirdly shaped. Wait a minute. They don't make animal dildos. What does an animal penis even look like? I don't even... I've seen an elephant fuck. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Seen dogs bang. Anyways, it was close to a foot long and weirdly shaped. I have kept quiet, but I really want to confront her, but don't know how to do it without hurting her feelings or opening a crazy can of worms. Please help, Bill. All right, dude. You know, you need, if you're not just going to walk, you really need professional help on this one. All right? I mean, I don't know. What do you do? Do you take the thing out of the trash and then just leave it on the fucking coffee table? And then she walks in and you're just pacing. Hey, honey, how was your day? And you just fucking, what's this? I just found this in the fucking trash. Huh? Which orifice were you shoving this in? I mean, there's no fucking way to, how do you even bring that up? Listen, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. Your wife has a huge dildo. No, your wife has a your wife has a huge skeleton. Something. There's something gigantic going on. Oh, God, got to stop saying gigantic and huge. She's got a big secret, bigger than that fucking giraffe dildo you found in the fucking garbage. You're 2 months in, dude, and you're already not getting. Sex is already a fucking issue. All right? Now, it sounds like you really love this woman, the fact that you're actually still willing to work this out. But as an outsider, with no feelings, no heart, no broken heart on the line here, you know, I think you just got to walk. No, you know what? What would I say? I would just say, I'm literally sitting here right now, guys, and I'm rubbing my eyes. You know when you do that with one hand? You know that move? I'm doing that right now, trying to think of how do I bring this up? I would take the fucking hippo cock and I would put it in one of those big brown bags, if it can fit, from Macy's. Whatever you got to do. Maybe like one of those, you know, when they plastic wrap like a Christmas tree. I would find one of those bags, and I'd stick it in that. And I would just say, honey, I need to talk to you about something. All right? And I would sit her down. Dude, fuck this and fuck her fucking feelings. All right. See, I had to get past the shock here. All right? Just sit her down and say, listen, I'm not judging you. I just need some honesty here, because this is a gigantic, huge fucking gorilla dick that I found in the trash. Okay? You haven't been having sex with me. What is going on? Just tell me what is going on. I'm not going to tell anybody about this other than this podcast. I'm not going to judge you. Just level with me. Is this why you wanted to go to the zoo the other day? No. You got to get it out there, dude. You got to get it out there, and you have to hear her fucking story. And you have to be supportive, both for her feelings and for you, for the fact that you deserve to know the fucking truth about this before you spend the rest of your life with somebody who's going to bang you once every 2 months while secretly wanting to fuck a tiger. Or whatever, a fucking grizzly bear. Dude, they don't make animal dildos. And I swear to God, you fucking assholes, if there is a website, don't send me the link, because I'm not looking at it. I don't need that on my hard drive. I'm not looking at it. Dude, you have to sit her down. Okay? And you have to you got to bring in that zebra dick. You just have, you have to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
You owe it to yourself. All right? And as much as it's going to be embarrassing for her and everything, it's going to help her out. Because I bet that there's a part of her that she doesn't like herself. That she's sneaking around and starting to live this lie and all, or whatever the fuck is going on. I don't know. I would also bring it to the sex store and ask somebody what this is before, like, you make a complete ass of yourself. Because God knows, what if it's something else? What if it's like a fucking, like those wood things that's on an old staircase? I don't fucking know. All right, on a banister.